5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bonifay Banter Podcast.
Yeah, everybody, we in for a good one tonight. Episode 9 of the Bonifay Banter. Shane in the studio, and ladies and gentlemen, the legend of all legends, definitely Shane and I's idol. Everyone who's listened is probably their idol. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Byerly in the studio. Thanks for coming by, Scott.
Thanks for having
Cheers,
me, boys.
bud.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
man. It's
an honor.
true honor. It's been you've been such a serious idol to us when we were little. We looked up to you like you were like wakeboard god to us, and now for the fact that we became like such good friends, like over the time, is like that's probably one of the coolest things to wakeboard about. You know, it's just like how that happens like that. But
I mean, I know it was 94 Worlds, which is the first wakeboard event I went to, but you went to Nationals the year before. But it was 94 Worlds that me and the mom and dad and all of us went down there.
In the Keys.
we'll get there.
In the Keys, out of Murata. And you and Gator took, the wins, the expression session, and the freestyle. But it was the first time, hands down, that I realized, you can be cool wakeboarding because you guys weren't what I thought. At this point, I only knew water skiers and stuff, and then I finally saw you guys, and y'all were so fucking cool that I was like, "Holy shit!"
We were water skiers too.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it wasn't.
It's a good point. We all kind of
but it was a moment where I was like, "Wait, there's something more than this is more than trick skiing. Like you can actually have this style." And then honestly, from there on, I remember me and Parks basically only talking about wakeboarding and just being like, this dude's the shit.
Yeah, Shane's trying to elaborate to the people listening like how much of an impact, and you're hands down the most inspirational wakeboarder of all times. And what Shane was just saying is kind of.
I mean, I was 12. I was 11
I
or 12.
appreciate it.
I was 11 or 12, so it was like.
But like Scotty said, he was a water skier at heart. Is that what you started? Is that what you?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I definitely water skied. My parents were big water skiers.
That's how you got into water sports in general.
Yeah, I remember when I was just a little kid riding on my dad's, holding on to his legs on his slalom ski.
So what you did with Kira, kind of riding with her.
Oh, for sure.
He did with you in the same.
My mom and dad, my mom used to barefoot, long line, deep water start.
Do you always grow up in Florida?
Yeah.
Florida
They
boy.
They lived in St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg first, and then you came.
I was born over there, and then we moved to Orlando.
Nice.
We always had a ski boat. We grew up with a ski teak. It was like a 75
What was the first lake you moved to?
ski teak.
What was the first lake y'all moved to?
Lake Catherine.
What year was that, you think?
In Castleberry. I mean, I was maybe 10, I think, when they built the house.
Yeah.
Something like that.
How much? And you have a younger brother, Ryan, too. Ryan Byerly. How much younger is Ryan than you?
I think he's 3 years younger than me. 3 or 4, something like that.
Seems like good age right there. Yeah. And so in the beginning, would you just two ski and kind of slalom, and then kind of would you?
We did it.
Didn't you kneeboard a bunch back in the day?
I mean, yeah.
Was your first roll on the water?
But anyways, when I was younger, we slalom skied barefoot.
Yeah.
Everything. But we never competed.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to compete. I went to Frankie D's ski school one time.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
Frankie
We used to go down there too.
Frankie D's, boy. Back in the day.
Yeah, I liked Frankie.
I hit the jump and
Really?
didn't
Frankie
it
D
didn't go so
Frankie
good.
D was a character, dude. He'd be coaching you, dude. He's wearing these purple spandex, dude. He's got this curly mullet, dude, and he's just man.
Is Frankie D the one you went to?
Chuck D's was his dad.
D.
Chuck D's was my coach. His dad, Frankie D's dad, was Chuck D's, and he was my 3-event coach when I was
maybe I went there. I went to one of those.
No,
D's ski school.
D's ski school. That's I think that was Frankie D's.
I think it is too.
But
Chuck was old.
But yeah, I always wanted to do something with water skiing, just from growing up with my parents water skiing.
So that competitive, you kind of wanted to compete. You wanted to compete, but you just never.
I remember they used to have ski events at Lake Ivanhoe back in the day.
Yeah, that's where one of my first
Central
that was my
Florida
first-
Central Florida Ski Association or
Yep.
something like that.
Little ski team? Was it like a little ski? Not
No,
ski
it was like
school, but a
competition.
show?
No, they had legit tournaments out there.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
my first 3
I
tournament.
when I was a little kid, I remember watching this dude hit the jump and landed in the pickup boat.
What?
Yeah,
Whoa.
pickup boat wasn't out of the way, and the guy landed inside
Like
of it.
didn't hit the water and roll
No.
into it. He landed in the
He
pickup
landed in the
boat.
pickup boat.
Holy
Jesus.
shit.
Yeah, it was
Did
crazy.
he die?
No, I don't think so.
I bet he
I was
wished he
I was a
would've,
little
dude.
kid. I don't know who it was.
Yeah.
or anything. It was
Damn, man.
It
That's
was
crazy.
wild.
That's a wild dude.
at Lake Ivanhoe.
Oh man.
I can't imagine being
Can
in
you
the,
imagine-
Can you imagine being in the air, dude? You're just coming off and you're like, dude, I got the kick. No. And
Because,
like,
What about the
when you're
guy in the
cutting-
boat? Like, oh fuck.
When you're cutting in for the kicker,
I mean,
I shouldn't
what a
be right here.
jackass. Yeah.
when
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
edging in for the jump, your eyes are only on the jump. You're just laying a two
You don't
wake-
see what's on the
you're
other side.
Doing a 2-wake edge. You're just like, "Whoa, let me get on, let me get on." And as soon as you come off of the face of it, you're in the air, just going, "Oh no, oh no!" Like you just see a boat right where you're. That would be.
I'd be like jumping off a cliff and just seeing the boat underneath you the whole
Yeah,
time.
you're
You're like,
like,
well, god
Yeah,
damn.
this is can't change anything now. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So
Yeah,
you still even
that's a
wanted to
memory.
wa-
That's a memory in my mind from when I was a little kid.
and you still wanted to water ski and do some
Oh, yeah,
stuff
yeah.
after that.
He didn't want to jump anymore.
no, that was before I went to Frankie D's.
Man, that's insane.
Frankie D's, Frankie used to fuck with me and Joey. Me and Joey Blakely used to go to Frankie D's, and Frankie D's would tell us that he would wait so late to cut at the jump to where he would see the other side of the jump. He could see inside, and me and Joey are just like 10 years old and just hook, line, sinker,
Yeah,
and like
just believe in it.
into anyone like doesn't really wrap their head around that. It's like impossible to like see the other side of the jump and stuff. But we believed it. Frankie, he could sell it with
Hey.
conviction.
That's good. Hey, I did want to bring up. We got this Flight 69 here behind you. That this is like
Well,
one of
you
my
were just
most-
talking about in the Keys. That was the first event that we rode that thing.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, that's why it's one of my most prized
Where did you-
possessions.
We test rode that thing a year before it came out, and
Oh, that had to be torture having to
it
go back to
sucked.
those boards. You got to
we
ride
were like,
that
"Holy
thing.
shit, this is the best fucking board!"
Oh my!
And then
God,
we had to
dude.
go back to a directional board
And you guys, when you were
for
testing
like
it,
almost a year.
when you were testing it, you didn't tell Jimmy Redmond to put more rocker into it because that thing was pretty flat. When
No
it
one
came
knew.
out.
I mean,
none of the boards had a lot of rocker
shame.
back then.
I know. I'm just joking. It was flat.
Don't
Yeah,
go time
yeah.
warping on us.
We
Dude.
gotta-
We're in 1994 right now.
this is the
1993,
93. 93.
It's not even a twin tip.
No, it's not technically a
No,
twin tip. Yeah.
It's like
Pretty-
it's a directional board too.
But okay, so this
That
is
had to-
honestly
that had to suck so bad. Too. So you rode
Yeah,
the
it
prototype.
sucked.
You loved it. Like you almost don't even want to ride anything else. And
Oh,
you
it
had to
was-
go ride.
as soon as we got on it.
You were riding a Wake Tech Big Air before that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or- Damn, that had to have been the worst. Is to ride that thing, and I bet a prototype's like so much lighter. The way Jimmy, I remember when Jimmy would like shape prototypes, they're like 6 pounds lighter than the actual board.
I mean,
so
it
it was
didn't
like
matter what. How
no,
light
but yeah,
or
I mean, yeah,
it
you were
was.
riding a
It was.
riding a
It was
surfboard.
completely different.
dude. I can't imagine.
Shape, feel, everything was.
Yeah.
Dude, when you
It
and
opened so much.
this is kind of a question that Ruck wanted to ask. Like when you rode that, like that sensation when you felt the that riding backwards and like in regular like
It
and
felt.
not feeling
It felt
dude, did-
pretty much exactly the same.
and at the time when you rode a board that like fakie was like true fakie, your feet are only you're like
Right.
inches away, so it's like how much when you rode that did it just like click in your mind like on the and open up
mean,
a whole new vision of the way you were going to ride in
You
the future?
can. You can see it.
Yeah.
You can watch in the videos.
Yeah,
Like
the
the
tricks
the
you were doing.
progression.
Yeah.
Like was instant.
And you think that I mean, yeah, and
It would have. It was
you think it has-
positively the board.
no, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it's not. And
It was.
100% it was. Yeah, that 100%.
It sucked that we had to
I
wait.
bet, man. That's
But like when we got it, it was on.
Yeah. Dude, that would be such a crazy
Between me and Gator, like
Yeah.
it was.
and I
it
think
was
that
on.
and I think that
We-
it's
It was crazy.
I bet it's an argument to like why you like won the worlds that year too. Like you, I mean, you did.
I mean, we
You
got
did- you-
so
you-
lucky.
You won with a switch mode,
Yeah,
right?
but I mean, he's
I don't
bringing a
know.
gun to a knife fight. You know, everybody else is using knives,
That's
and
what I'm
he's
saying.
got a fucking gun. He's like this is. It's almost easy. It's I don't want to say easier, but it's you.
I don't know, like that whole event being in the Keys during. There was a windsurf event going on at the same time. Like somebody was gonna be fucked.
The Windsor.
You know what I mean? Like, and
No, that's a
and
good
riding
point.
in
I never-
salt water is completely different than riding in a lake.
Yep.
And I'm so used to, like, you know, I didn't do very well in events at contests, maybe a couple,
Yeah.
and a handful. I got lucky probably and landed on my stuff there.
You were swinging
But
for the
I was
fence.
on that board.
Yeah, that's
and it
what
was on. Like,
But I
Everything
mean, I don't
was
think
clicking.
I don't think it was luck because not only did you win that event, but Gator won the expressions, and he was on the same board. Like that was like the combination of a whole thing of, look, this
Yeah, it
board
was
is
everything
this good.
aligned. Everything
We have
aligned.
to evolve because look, these two dudes just won this Isla Morada Worlds event on these boards, and it's not even questionable. Like everything you did was like so much cleaner and so much better because you're not fighting this 6-inch tail that most people were trying to ride with a big old nose on it. Like it was, you can, you can
it definitely opened up the floodgates.
yeah.
That's
for
what I'm
sure.
saying. It's probably hard for Darren to do a switch mob on a directional surfboard
We
that he
definitely,
was doing. And when,
we
I think that's
definitely
what the
hurt
last
some
trick
feelings. We
with
definitely
Byerly-
hurt some feelings that day.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah. On a directional board doing a switch air mob. What was it? You did switch
I
air
think
mode?
switch
Oh,
mob.
man,
Switch
I don't
mob.
even
I
remember.
remember. Yeah, I remember that you did a
Mob,
mob,
switch mob.
switch mob. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was, I mean, it's
Was it just
think-
two mobs? or
mob,
was there
switch
four?
mob. I
Yeah.
think.
Was
I
it
think-
a mob, switch mob,
No,
and an air mode?
no. I
And
don't.
switch air mode?
I don't
I
think.
think. I mean, we can play it back and but I think it was.
I think it's just
mob,
mob,
switch
switch
mob.
mob. And you
But
know what?
that's why
Okay.
that's why I'm saying like you made the switch mode because you were riding a directional board.
Hey.
You know, I think that like what you're saying, it's
And there's this
It plays
thing
such a role
too.
into it.
When you watch that clip, when you do this, you do mob, switch mob, and you can see somebody in a boat out in the water in the background see you land the switch mob, and you see them hold up a Flight 69, and they're like, yes, like they
It was
are.
probably down south Dave.
It probably was
Definitely
down
down
south.
south.
That's
But
when I
like-
met him.
But like shout out down south Dave.
But you can see this thing where it's like this board is like changing the future right now,
yeah.
and even somebody in the far distance
Dave.
is like holding up the board.
He was
like,
yelling,
"Yeah!"
grind my arm! Grind my arm!
Fucking Dave.
Dave was yelling
I
that.
know. I love some down
On the
south
sandbar. They were on the sandbar.
Yeah.
Grind my
Dave.
arm!
No, it's cool because we're going to play the clip, and you're going to see this.
I remember
dude
they had
in
the
far
I remember they
background.
had the Flight 69 styrofoam balls that you put on the antennas. Brandon Meek gave me one night at his house, and I thought it was the coolest gift that like almost anyone gave me.
love
But I remember I think Down South Dave had like a Forerunner or something back in the
He
day.
had the wake tech
Yeah,
thing
wake
on
tech-
the
yeah,
back.
that's what I'm saying, dude.
There's
Like,
a picture of us
dude, they rolled
drinking.
as a squad deep.
There's a
outside the-
picture of us drinking out of our trophies. Gator and I. Down South Dave's on the roof, like
Down south
all
Dave.
crazy.
Oh,
And Rich Goforth in the middle.
of course, Rich is in there. Rich was
Oh
always
yeah, Rich.
around there.
Rich is how I got hooked up with Wake Tech.
How did that unfold?
Rich Goforth.
Yeah,
was
explain
the
to people who
Yeah,
like
so-
who Rich is and kind of.
So what
Rich
were you
Gof-
riding before Wake Tech approached you, or you?
Well,
Rich
I
got
was
you in there.
I was on Lake Catherine skiing on the Diamond Show ski team,
Oh yeah, I love Diamond. I was part of Diamond for a little bit.
doing some kneeboard and barefoot shit.
Yeah, I did it. Me and Phil Sovin. I was
And
with
anyways,
the Sovin family.
so
Carry on.
Rich Goforth used to hang out with our buddy Billy Stroud, lived on Lake Catherine. And those guys would barefoot and wakeboard and stuff. I saw Rich wakeboarding. But I would ride, I think it was like a Kidder or something. A shredder or something.
Kidder shredder.
maybe? Was that right?
Yep.
How old do you think?
No,
you
I
are
mean
at this
O'Brien
time?
had the shredder, but Kidder, I think Kidder.
It was like a plastic board. I mean, I rode a Scurfer before. That was the first wakeboard I rode. Was a Scurfer.
How old do you think you are at this time? Like 17,
Fuck,
18?
I don't know. I was in high school.
Yeah, 17, 18. We'll just say. Okay, carry
16, 17, yeah.
on. I'm just getting a gauge on.
But yeah, I was, you know,
Kinda
on Lake
skateboarding.
Catherine,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and Rich, he got hooked up with Waketek, and he's like, "Hey man, I got these boards. You want to try one?" I tried it, and he said, "Hey, these guys want to do some stuff with you."
Damn, yeah. And then that's kind of
so
like how
I
it-
started doing some contests and stuff. It was
Scott,
Chris Durham
Yep.
and Tony Finn and Jimmy Redmond started Waketek.
Right. And they saw you kind of like skiing in the ski club and riding on like some other boards
But
in the ski club.
actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I was riding a HO Pro.
HO Pro.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of the,
the
first.
Darren,
compro- yeah,
the Darren
so, yeah.
Shapiro one that had, because
Yeah, one of the first.
I
compression
went and
molded.
worked after the Hurricane Andrew down south. I was working with my stepdad. He was a GC, and all my buddies, we worked down there. But I was making good money back then.
Right.
You know, I bought a wakeboard. It was a HO Pro,
Sick.
and that's what I was riding.
And that had to feel so much different.
so I
than
was
the
riding
Surfer.
that. I was
Yeah.
riding that, and I think I was doing some stuff with the Diamond ski
Hey,
team.
when Rich saw
so I
you-
could do like a back roll and shit.
Hey,
on it.
I'm gonna add, yeah. So when Rich saw you do that back roll, what kind of like Byerly was riding? Like where did you get your kind of like influence on like the way you ride and your like?
It was probably just from
is it
surfing.
Just from surfing, like you.
Yeah, I grew up going to New Smyrna.
Did you and when you
Cocoa
rode a
Beach.
wakeboard and you were doing this back rolls? Even
I don't
when
know.
You were
I, did- I
young,
was
did
just
you, like,
I just surfed and skateboarded.
Yep.
I don't know. It all came from
Did
that.
you have that hook? You think that you had that hook?
I
at
think that's just
17,
from-
16, 17?
I think that's just from surfing.
surfing? Yeah.
It's a sick hook.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
whatever.
Do you have a certain? Is there a name that sticks out to like that when you were younger? You go, I want to kind of surf like that, or like something.
I mean, we definitely looked up to like Christian Fletcher and
Yeah.
all that, and it was crazy to like hang out with those guys when Herbie was making my wakeboard bindings.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
like the same.
So it was like
community.
a, it was
you get to hang out with
fucking,
Christian
it was
Fletcher,
fucking
yeah.
crazy.
Right.
It was like it was wild going
That is
to
crazy.
on surf trips and
Damn. So Rich
surfing in Hawaii with Herbie and Nathan and all those guys, like crazy. It was
All right.
fucking nuts.
All right, so
Wait.
hold on. So you get hooked up with Rich hooks you up with Waketek, and then how long is it before you get to ride the Flight 69?
We rode the Big Air for I don't know 2 years, something like that. A couple of graphics.
It's probably like a long 93 or something.
Yeah. It was like maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah,
like
92 to
graphics. So 3
93.
years.
And then 93 is when you get to try it, and then you have to wait a year for 94 before you're riding it in the event.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool.
And
I
back,
mean, it was wild
Yeah.
how that board changed
Changed
everything.
shit. Yeah.
I remember I got to do
And that board even changed like when I took the boots off and we put grip tape on it.
oh yeah, we're definitely
Yeah.
going to get to
We're
that.
gonna get to that.
You know what I
is
mean?
that-
So like
is
that's
that,
the first board I.
is that the board that you
That's
were
the first board I
three-shoving?
did 3 shoves on.
Damn.
I'm like crazy.
I love it.
That board,
So
that
crazy.
flat board.
So
Yeah,
you
that
so
flat-ass
when you
board.
rode a directional board, you never thought to like take the boots off.
George
and, like, throw a grip
kickflipped
tape?
that thing like
Damn.
second try.
Jesus.
Goose.
Like I think I bet him like you can't fuck.
You can't.
He fucking did it
Oh,
like second
George.
try.
George.
Why'd
Georgie
you?
D.
What made you want to like take off the boots and grip tape that thing up? You skated a bunch, probably.
I
and-
mean, we just pretty much got.
do you skateboard a lot?
We just got sick of doing flips and spins and shit
Yeah.
connected to the board.
Fair enough.
I don't know. We're kind of like copying skateboard tricks.
Yeah.
So we always thought about skateboard stuff when we were wakeboarding.
Yeah. No.
It's crazy that when we're wakeboarding, we're looking at snowboarding and skateboarding. You know, it
Yeah.
all
It's
kind
kinda
of
sponging it up,
came from
yeah.
surfing, but now like wakeboarding's influenced all those sports.
You think?
Fuck yeah! Like look at all those snowboard kids, Liam and fucking
Yeah.
like guys who
Finn-
wakeboard.
Finn,
yeah,
yeah.
like who,
Yeah.
guys who
Finn's-
wakeboard really good that can snowboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're. I mean,
And they're really good at snowboarding and,
they're
wakeboarding.
and
they're like,
they're taking wakeboard stuff from and bring it to snow.
Yeah, no, I think they are. I think there is a little
And like even
connection there.
skateboard stuff too.
I imagine there's a ways that a
don't
lot of
think-
stuff transfers over. I mean,
I don't think skateboarders will admit that they're taking things from wakeboarders, but I bet they are. I bet they see it, like well, a skateboarder is very, self-centered. They're like, no, I'm the
kind of
core.
all,
core
kind
can
of
get,"
all.
it blends.
You can take stuff from everything now. Like,
No, I mean it's like the idea
you're
that
good at something-
imitation is the biggest form of flattery, but it's like also like you can imitate things because when you try to imitate it, you still can't do it exact. So as long as you're doing something, then that now becomes the way you are doing it, and it doesn't look like you're imitating something. Like you can try to copy something as much as you want, but as soon as you try, it's not going to be the exact same, and that can be your own style. Like
I mean,
that's
any
the
type
way.
of art or music or anything.
It's all form. It's a form of copying.
Yeah, but I'm not saying. Yeah, but you're saying it in like in a different way. I think it's just like you're taking inspiration from a little bit of everything. Like everything comes from something. No one just like designed the wheel just like straight off on its own. Like everything
Right.
is a small branch from another
It's a
thing.
branch of a
or something.
branch of a branch,
And
yeah.
I think just like what Scott was saying is like Scott was able to like take a lot of influence from snowboarding and snowboarding and so much to where I think that's probably why like these
And
young
it's
kids
been
probably absorb it like vice versa.
and it's been around long enough
Right.
to where it's all blending into
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, for sure.
That's kind of what I meant.
Okay, so I still want to go back and say I got this board at that was a long time ago that I made this segue, but I got it at a
Play it again.
Played Again Sports. It was on the shelf for $120. I said, I'll take it. The guy said, it's wintertime. We can give you half off. And I said, I don't think you heard me the first time. I'm going to take that thing because it had the dragon sticker on it. And I was like, this is one of the boys' boards, and I need it. There's not even a sun bleach on it.
How do you know it's one of the boards?
What?
The dragon sticker is
somebody can put a sticker on
Dude,
Scott,
but the
I don't know.
timing of
Come
this.
on.
I mean, yeah, but agreed. Anyone who wanted to be like Scott would buy a
I
Flight 69
seriously
and put
have-
a dragon sticker
I
on
have-
back in the day.
Wait.
I mean,
Hold on. I have like this has happened to me. Where somebody thinks that it's
one
my
of yours.
board
I'm
and
not
it's
saying
not
it's
my
one of yours.
board.
Yeah.
I love this.
No, I believe you.
Have you heard the story?
no.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. What is it? This is what it's
The
for.
vintage wakeboard guy.
Oh yeah,
I don't-
yeah.
What's his name?
Rob Astor.
Yes. He posted something that he had my board. And I'm like, that's not my board. You
He was so bummed. I bet.
What
Oh,
did he?
God, he was super bummed.
He-
And I didn't mean to
he
bum him.
likes-
I
he-
did not mean to bum him out. I just was like, hey,
Yeah.
this might not be my board, and you might want to find out before you post it on your thing saying it's my board. It's not my board.
Well, yeah.
I went in my attic and got the
usually-
board.
Usually, he likes to almost like look at old photos and like check the like some of the. stickers and
Anyways,
stuff.
he
Like,
was so fucking
was bummed.
butt hurt.
Yeah. No, I
Like,
mean,
and I didn't mean to piss him off. I
mean,
didn't
I'm
mean to
sort
piss
of-
you off.
No, I'm sort of butthurt too. You saying it's definitely not one of the boys' boards
I'm
because
kind
I
of
mean,
fucking
basically,
pissed.
I didn't say it definitely was, but it might not be.
no, it might not be.
I've
It
had
might
this
not
hanging
be.
in my house for like the last like 12 years,
Okay.
thinking, telling everyone at Scott's board that we
Okay.
found to play it again.
Whether-
I feel you, Rob.
Whether or not
It
it is
might
one
not
of the
be,
boys,
I agree.
whether or not it's one of the boys' boards, it's still a classic Flight 69 with no sun bleaching. There's like no boot marks on there or anything.
Well, if
And-
it was my board, it would have been fucking broke.
yeah, I'm not saying it was
You know what
yours.
mean?
I
Like,
don't
it
think
would've
it
had-
was yours.
Definitely had sun bleach.
Okay, but
Definitely
also,
see that I
does
wrote
look like
it.
an imposter now that Scott does like points this out.
Okay, but also there's a signature on there, and I want to tell you about the signature.
Oh, maybe it is
because
mine.
I went to Watson's Halloween party dressed as you, where I wore an O'Neill full suit, and I wore a full suit the whole time, and I had it like half pulled down.
Whose Halloween party?
Watson's.
Oh, nice.
And I had long hair. I flipped it over all onto one
I
side.
remember this.
And I walked around with the board all night, and you came and I got you to sign it. And
Nice.
it was honestly such a cool moment of me being like, I have a
Halloween
Flight
parties
69.
were fun.
Watson's Halloween parties were lit. They were good. But you signed it at Watson's. You signed the board I was holding
He
your
probably
board.
told you that night that it wasn't his.
Yeah, he probably did. He probably did. But the fact that I was dressed as you and you signed the board, it's been honestly hanging in Parks' house and for a while, but it was an honor. It was like crazy where I was kind of just like, this is
Oh yeah.
like, I thought it was a cool costume that I was like just
I
doing it
remember
with
it.
the board. And
You always had
but
great
you were
cos-
there.
you
How was
always
how
had
was your
great-
Byerly hook? Let's see. Let's see it.
It was a hook, and it was just like the squinted eyes where you're just like, every time somebody says something, you kind of just go, oh man, I don't know.
Did you put some tattoos on you?
I did draw tattoos. I
No,
drew
I
tattoos.
didn't
Yeah, I
have
did. I did.
tattoos.
Yes, you had tattoos. At
Not
time.
when I was with Wake Tech, I didn't.
No, but
No,
we're
but
talking
it
about
was
that
like-
time of the
No, I
Watson
just
party.
started
The time of
getting
the,
it.
no, the
Watson
time
party,
of the Watson party.
I drew Sharpies all over me. I will. I
Hey,
doubt
Scott,
what
like
happened.
real talk, I was first time I got hurt and I was off the water for a little bit when I think I was like 17 or so. I like drew, it was on this arm, but I drew your whole, where's your right arm? Put it up. Yeah, I drew all the tendons and stuff, and I drew that same thing on my whole arm. I definitely have that picture upstairs, so we're definitely putting this in.
It was
But
pretty
just to-
sweet. I
just
do
to give
remember
you
that.
Speaking of pictures, I found this in my attic.
Yeah.
This
What
is
is
a
it?
good one.
This picture I found of Parks in
Parks and Randall.
'96.
No
Randall
fucking
Harris
way.
96, you would have been.
Really? Oh, I was 14.
drinking a
beer.
drinking a pitcher
drinking
of beer.
pitcher, or trying to.
Yeah, I would have been.
Damn,
yeah.
Randall with
That
the
was
support,
13,
dude. Let me
14.
see this.
Mm.
Damn,
fact-
96 Randall with a Arnett, like long sleeve white tee.
You know
I
what
got
I
a
also.
Conley shirt on.
You know what I also love
Damn,
about that
dude.
94 Worlds is that.
we're putting this up right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, you
We're
can.
skin.
That's for you.
I get to keep it?
That's you. Yeah.
Dude.
No, we gotta frame that. But we're gonna put that up on the wall over here. We gotta.
It was in my. It was
Thank
in
you,
my
Scotty.
attic.
Thanks, Scotty. Cheers, brother.
So-
Really? You found that in your attic?
Yeah.
Also, what I loved about 94 Worlds is not only that you and Gator did your thing, but Parks and Randall were in junior boys, and
Yeah.
we were also with Hunter Brown. But the fact that you two were competing then and then went on to become like the legends of the sport, but y'all were like competing against each other at like nationals and worlds at 94, and then 10 years in the future. Y'all are
Love that.
just
Yeah,
what
yeah.
it was. Like 94, I have this theory that 1994 was such a crazy, impactful year. Like there was the music that was happening, the movies that came out. That's like, there's so many good
You're kinda
things
right,
that
yeah.
happened in 94. Like, I think that's like
Magical year.
I think that's like when OJ's trial happened.
Oh,
I think that's when Forrest Gump came out. I
Ace
think that's
Ventura,
when Byerly won Worlds. Like, there's so many things when you look at what happened in 1994. It's an epic year that like set off the next 20 years of like pop culture and everything.
And wakeboard culture.
Yeah, music in '94 was like Nirvana. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
it was big. '94 was,
Grungy.
yeah.
Very grungy.
It's a weird theory. I've talked with Jimmy Lurch about it. He loves hearing my theories. I've told him about 1994 theory, and it's tangible.
Yeah, that, I mean, like what Scott was saying about Alamorada, like Randall and I were only 12 years old and when in 1994 when all that happened, and like we were like competing against each other then, and like there was only 4 kids in Worlds. Like it was like me, Hunter Brown, and like I think Gunnar Shula.
There's another
and,
one,
dude.
yeah.
And it was just like, but it's crazy to hear Scott like reflect on like what the Flight 69 coming in, not winning a whole lot of contests, and then fucking putting it all together with that, like combining with like the Flight
That
69
board.
and everything, and like battling Darren and the momentum he
yeah.
had.
It all came
Darren
together.
won. Darren, I mean, to give reference, Darren won like every contest since like 1992 almost. So when like Scott won in 94 at the Worlds down there, like riding this new twin tip, it was like it was a magical moment in like wakeboarding history, and it was crazy that like we were just like 12 years old, and
Yeah.
like we went down there as a family. Our grandpa,
Yeah.
dad was down there. Both passed away right now. Boom. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, that was a wild tournament, man.
I have a question. How did Gator get involved with all of this? Because you don't know.
We met him
as a fan.
We met him at Cypress Gardens.
met him
What?
at Cypress Gardens.
Yeah, there was
All American.
Remember the thing where you could
They did a
challenge
tournament
you could do like a thing ride and like
there. Challenge the pros.
challenge the pros.
That was the format. That's kind of sick.
that was what it was called, I think.
And that's where y'all met Gator. Out of
Yeah.
nowhere, out of
Eric
Naples.
Ludgert.
He just came up, and he wasn't even called Gator at this time. He's just Eric.
No, Eric Ludgert.
He didn't have dreads or anything?
No.
Man.
Did you give him the nickname?
Curly Q hair.
Yeah. And so he just came
And
up,
then Rich Goforth again.
was like, man, Rich go first.
Eric's dad he signed some shit so he could live with Rich.
Damn.
Oh,
back
really?
then.
Gave him like kind of like.
Yeah, he
like
lived
cut-
he's from Naples.
And how old was he? Because he's younger than you, right?
I mean, he was in high school. He wasn't even in high school yet.
But
I think he was in high school.
Yeah,
but
probably
he would have been
15
a
or
few
16
years
maybe?
younger than you. Probably like 2 years younger.
He's younger than me.
Yeah. So you might have been 17. He's probably 15 at this time. You might have been
I'm
18
not
or 16.
17.
No, or this is
Me?
Yeah.
No, you're not 17.
How much
now.
older are you than Gator?
When I was already with Wake Tech, I was like 21.
Yeah, so there's
Okay.
probably like
Okay.
Gator's probably my
So
age.
probably Gator's now 17. We'll say like
Yeah,
a
he's
like
older
a
than me.
no.
He's
but
in high school.
he's in high school. So
He's
yeah,
a
17,
freshman in
18.
high school. I
Oh,
think.
then that's
something like that.
That's like 14, 15.
Yeah. He just got his license.
And you are like 20. I'm just trying to get a little
So-
timeline there because I don't know anything
Eric's
of Gator
dad
before
signed
1994.
Timeline doesn't
power
really-
of attorney to Rich so he could live with Rich
Damn.
and ride
That's
and go to school in Orlando.
Sick.
It was pretty crazy.
That's wild.
Pretty crazy.
And so at that point he starts riding for Wake Tech.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. Man. And did he get to test the Flight 69 with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who gave him the nickname?
Oh, I think his
sister?
No. I think his stepdad.
Why did you think they
And
gave
I
him
don't
that
think
name?
I don't think he liked it.
He did have some Gatory kind of eyes.
No, I don't think he liked it, and I think his stepdad gave his sister the nickname Buster too. I don't know.
Hmm.
That's sort of weird for
But
them.
anyways, it
We
stuck
knew when
with
the
him. It
Busters
stuck with him
stuck
for a
with
while.
Yeah, I mean it's great. Yeah,
You know.
had a whole career on Gator. That
For
was one
sure.
of my favorite board graphic of all time. Was that Wake Tech
The
Gator
Gator.
graphic?
Dude,
The Gatorade one.
Yeah, the Gatorade.
I
one.
talked to Jimmy about the Gator ad.
That's
the Gator
that
graphic.
board.
What's that?
Yeah, it's the
It's
same
that
board.
board. It's
Yeah.
the same board. It's just a smaller one.
I talked to Jimmy Redmond recently about the Gator ad or the Gator graphic, and Tony, they like laid it out about how they knew that they were basically copyright infringing on Gatorade,
And they kept on going.
and they kept going. They said, all right, like whenever they got the cease and desist, Tony was like, give me the letter, let me call this, and if it's a female, we've got this. And Tony Finn calls this like cease and desist from Gatorade, and they're like, yeah, we just don't know if this is a good, like, we don't like you guys. Tony's like, what? No, it's okay. Look, this guy's Gator because he drinks so much Gatorade. We can cross promote this and do all of this.
Oh,
and like
man.
sold them to the point where they were like,
We're gonna let it roll.
let it roll. And
No
it was
way.
all out of nowhere. They're like, he's an all-American athlete. He's great. We call him Gator because he drinks so much Gatorade. And Tony's just like,
I can only imagine the girl on the phone how far she has that from her ear.
yeah,
He's probably
no.
just like
it was
Oh,
it was
But he
wow.
was right, but he was right.
it was crazy. He was
Damn.
like,
It was
what,
loud.
what a Hail Mary pitch he threw right there.
and he
dude.
did, and he actually lied so much about the personality of what Gator was. Like he was like, he's an all-American athlete. He drinks Gatorade. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
whatever. And they were like, okay, we'll go with it. And I was like, Jesus, the boldness of just calling this company that just sent you a cease and desist about a graphic you're now trying to sell, and it's succeeding.
That sounds like a fish story.
Yeah, it sounds like a fish story. It could have been. Tony tells fish stories. It's always
sure.
this long.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
You know.
that's
But-
what a good salesman will kind of do, I guess.
No.
Yeah.
Eh,
Or bad salesman.
or a bad salesman. the best bad salesman.
Shane, let's bring up let's get more into let's get into filming and shit. Because I feel like let's talk about some of the videos that you've been in. And Shane, I think
What you want?
what's your favorite part of all time that you've done? What do you think? Maybe hit it.
I don't
Highway
even
Drift.
remember.
It's
go.
one big beautiful blur. Well, let's
Let's
watch.
take a
Seriously,
little
let's watch Hit
it's
It.
been so long.
You want to
know.
get spray? Or you
No,
want to
let's
hit
go.
it?
Let's go hit it because
We'll
like
go
pow
hit it.
because like We were just talking about Shane just got back from Lake Powell on the Liquid Force trip, and we were talking about in Spray when y'all found those. Man, it was just the stars aligned on that one, huh? Because I have never seen anything like that. There was like an elevated pool, and we're about to show some like clips
we
right
never.
here, but I just kind of like
This is the beginning of CC's section.
I wasn't even riding a Flight 69.
But you
then,
start
was
commenting. Yeah, you are.
yeah.
I'm on a Flight 69.
That's the summer of 1994 right there.
Okay.
That was probably like September, I think.
But this is hit it. This isn't the Powell thing.
Go to
but-
Powell.
Oh, I thought we were.
Go to
That's
Let's
the
get-
spray section. The spray Powell or hit it.
It's Spray.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Spray.
My bad. My
That's
bad.
all right. It's
Eric
all right.
Schmaltz was there.
Yeah, we were watching.
Bill McCaffrey.
It wasn't a while that y'all got to film, like you filmed Wake the Beast, you got to film Spray there, and then you got to film Mayday, all with Fall Line Films there. That was crazy. Like 3 different trips, like in the heyday of wakeboarding right there. Had to be
Fall
like, pretty
Line-
sick to.
They probably had the first wakeboard stuff in a video, like
But-
in a snowboard video.
Yeah, did they do Gravity Sucks?
No, in a snowboard video, there was, I think Schmaltz is in one of their snowboard videos back in the day.
They filmed they did a bunch of
Riding
like,
behind
snowboard videos
riding
back
behind
in the
a
day.
jet boat on
Really?
on Lake Tahoe. For sure, Eric Schmaltz.
Yeah, damn.
So it's cool to meet Schmaltz and ride with him.
Right, and those are all Northwest boys. Is that when you met like Nelson and like McCaffrey and a bunch of those
Yeah,
boys and kind of
yeah.
like that whole
For sure.
the
Like
Northwest
they
crew?
they all had like that snowboard style stuff.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
West Coast style. On the East Coast it was more surf,
Skiing.
ski stuff.
Yeah.
You know, coming from the ski.
But it was like those styles matched up so good. Like yours in that.
Dude,
East
Schmaltz
Coast,
was
yours
Schmaltz
and
was
your
way
crew-
ahead of time. Like he was doing
Schmaltz was-
fucking one-footed Velcro
Yeah.
judo airs.
Schmaltz was
Wake to wake. Back
Schmaltz
then.
was so far.
I did love that. Like when everyone started riding boots, Smalty still rode the straps in the Velcro thing, so that he could like have the freedom to do like crazy 1-footers and all this
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
shit, dude. And like, I mean,
Schmaltz was.
you see it in
ahead of
the companies that like in the way he like evolved from that too, like with Mutiny and Decline in the Water Ski Monopoly and kind of like
That video was the shit.
fuck yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna play this, but whenever you have like comment, like talk on it. I wanna.
Yeah, there's no music or
We have
anything.
no
so-
audio, so I just want to know this is young Byerly getting out to Powell.
Yeah,
there's
there's
Schmaltzy.
We're cruising to that spot, I think.
I can play some audio of this underneath it, but
Yeah, we found this.
How did y'all
Was-
find? How did you find it?
I don't even know.
You were hiking and you just found a pool.
No, I don't.
You couldn't see it
I
from
don't
the water.
remember.
You couldn't
Like,
see it
look
from
at
the
this
water,
thing.
right?
I think we were just cruising around and we found
Oh,
it.
that's low enough to where you probably from the top of the houseboat you could have possibly like seen that pool, maybe, huh?
I don't think the houseboat was close by this. We like
Right.
we
So y'all were
went on
ripping.
we went on a journey to like get to
And
it.
y'all just happened. Damn, that
Just
is so
happened to
crazy,
pond
dude.
it.
That must have looked at the way you jumped in.
in that little boat.
I mean, this was back in the time when we just started jibbing stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like, and these are like just natural
Wow.
jib. You know, it was
I mean,
kind of like snowboard jibs.
I've been out to Powell probably 10
Is that done?
10 to no. I'm just pausing. I've been out there probably 10 to 12 times, and I've looked for these and the possibilities of it, and I've never ever seen anything even close to this. Like
I think
the
we
fact that y'all found
I think we
this-
found
wait,
this
wait,
spot, and there was no water in it. Like another time we went.
That's interesting. Yeah. Honestly, I think it takes the right.
Because I
amount of
remember
weight.
like
Either the-
seeing something like a landmark, you know, something.
I think
was like,
the-
I remember this is by the.
by the
Damn.
pool. So it must have
And we
gotten
found it.
rain,
I
did
or
a-
the water dropped enough like in a little
And it was
bit.
it
that
was super
like-
high, and there was no water.
I think, but the water just had to come down. That pool was big enough. That's not just rain. So like that, the water level had to drop fast enough to where that pool was like
Well,
still there.
But
and they,
if
like,
the
timed
water's
it.
dropping
could have
that
been
fast,
rain,
then that
too.
That was
pool's-
a big ass pool though.
No,
and
but
it
that
doesn't
pool-
rain that much.
But
You know
if
what
that
we
pool's-
called it?
What's
you
that?
call-
Brown trout pond.
Bound Trap Pond.
Bill McCaffrey shit in it.
Bill McCaffrey shit in the towel pool. This just
fucking
in.
Bill.
Brown trout
I'm
pond.
gonna have to call him. I'm gonna be with him next week, and I'm calling him out about shitting in the most famous.
He had those no Billy no shorts on.
yeah, NBN.
Yeah.
Hey Scott, wait, hey Scott. I went to go You can play. I went to go find this place with this this guy from Lake Powell called Lake Powell Bob, and I showed him like where this was, and I showed him like in the one of these shots you can see like in the background.
There's like a
we
antenna or something.
So we went to like roughly where this was, and he goes, "What year did they film this?" And I go, "This is summer of 1994, I think." And he goes, he brought it up, and where we were 60 feet lower than where the water was at this time.
That's crazy.
So when me and Bear went out there to go try to find this place, and Bear's like walking around up there, like we had to hike up like 60 feet. Like
look at the
try to
board
look down.
Schmaltz is riding.
But so
Let's
this
back it up a little bit.
That's
so this would have been where you would be able to figure out where it
This
is
is
because
the-
that's like gun
exactly.
sight or
This is the
something.
shot we used.
Like yeah.
And he looked at like where we looked at like where this was on this hill to kind of gauge where we were right then. And we literally tried to hunt this spot down.
It's I guarantee you.
Yeah,
so
Smelty.
hard.
He's still riding
Schmaltz.
straps.
Dude, he almost got wrecked on that one. Back it up.
Look, I got full double boots.
Dude,
He's
go
riding
back. Dude, look at the heel edge. Smalty almost got locked in right here. Oh, dude.
He could have tumbled over that. The little nose drag 180 too. It's so steezy.
Slide that area. Yeah, you went a little higher on the wall. That was sick.
Oh, Schmaltz did the 3 out. The 3 out was big.
Like a young bee.
Switch. Bang. Half cabbie
I
out.
don't think I have a tattoo.
You might have had a tribal.
I don't think. Yeah, maybe I did.
Oh man. Back to Schmaltzy, but there's more. There's more to come. The trash can. The trash
Good idea.
can was
Great
good.
idea. Yep. How long did y'all session that spot for? Is that an all day thing?
So
I would have
cool.
lived there.
I don't remember. Maybe we went back. Maybe we went back.
Oh, 5 out.
We probably did
Little
like a couple
540
times.
You did a front 5 out?
Yeah. Front
I bet
5 out.
those rocks wrecked.
Was it
that
just
board,
you and
yeah.
Schmaltzy?
I think
that
I
hit
rode
it?
for. I think I
Did
rode
nobody
for
else-
Rusty. Right.
No one
there.
else hit. No one
I
else
think
hit
I
it?
rode for Rusty.
Hold on.
Yeah.
What are you?
Yeah,
riding?
you
What
did-
are
you had a
riding
rusty.
right now?
You had a rusty.
PT.
Oh, you were-
Peter Town and
So, could you have
remember
possibly?
PT? Remember
Yeah.
PT?
No, that's a 69. Oh yeah, rusty though. Wetsuits, clothing and wetsuit. Yeah. Was it only you and Schmaltzy that hit that?
No, Bill McCaffrey. Look,
I don't think there's no footage of him hitting it. He must have not
he
done
shit
shit.
in it.
That's probably why I didn't want to ride.
This is a pretty sick little run through.
There's
the,
footage of him hitting it.
no,
Yeah.
that we're
maybe in
past
his
it.
section, or I don't know.
I
Has
doubt
to
it.
be.
Yeah,
Look at him. No Billy. No.
I love the brown trout pond, dude. Man, I think I would love to like bring a pump with a really big hose and try to find that,
Trying to find
and then recreate that and pump some water up into it.
Like
and
a
kinda, like, do that.
65-foot drop.
No, yeah, pretty much. No, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you could find one that's like a little bit, just like
Luca and Gunther and the boys will hit it. 65 foot, that's nothing for him. Give him a fucking parachute.
good night.
Grub. Get grubbed into it
He can make
And
it.
Grub will base jump out of that thing, dude. He'll go off,
all day.
shoot, skate out to the side, pull shoot.
That was sketchy.
What was?
Grub's thing.
Oh, the
Not
wake
sketchy,
No,
but-
Grub's done a lot of sketchy.
Yeah. I was like, fuck. Hope he makes it.
One and done. That was crazy. That was crazy because there were so many cameras, so much, and it was like a one and done. Like the thing happened in like 30 seconds. We went all the way out there, so much like so much preparation, and just like
Stuck it.
Done.
not even doing it again.
What do you think one of the gnarlier gaps or rails that you've hit? I mean, the bug was pretty crazy.
That was
That thing was sketchy as
so
shit,
sketchy.
dude.
That was pretty
so
wild.
janky.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Whose idea was that? Was that your bug?
That was. I bought that off Drew McGuckin.
And y'all just put it on a floating. So you had to build the floating dock for it.
The dock was already there, and
then
I was
just
like,
put
"Oh,
it
maybe I
on
can put the car on it, make a rainbow rail over it."
You got that video shoot?
Yeah, we can pull that.
What was that on?
That was in Hit It.
Hit it.
Yeah, so there's a floating dock. You boys build this thing.
And you use like 1 inch. What is this? 1 inch
sketchy.
PVC pipe?
1 inch PVC pipe.
No,
That's
that's
the
not one
fucking
inch.
sketchiest shit in the world.
Those are surf racks, and then like
So the
tied
surf
to
racks
it.
held it on.
Yeah.
Look how big that ollie is, dude.
Oh, I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back.
Why
I'm
did y'all
bringing
make that? Dude, I guess this is the.
I
this
don't
is the,
fucking
no,
know.
Yeah. I was just as it came out of my mouth, I realized I
No.
was like, y'all never done this. No, not this one. This,
No,
they
but
extend
I
it
know,
down.
but look, the poles just go into the water, but there's no supporting them. Like as soon as he hits it, like look how wobbly the entrance onto it. So he has to ollie all the way to the like hood of the bug.
I think everyone watching this, if you hit rails, you go to a cable, you're hitting this welded plastic. This is where it started
This
from.
is
Shane, go
crazy.
back, run it back. Dude, watch.
Sketchy.
Hey, watch how big the ollie is. You extended down after the first one, but dude, watch how. Not this one, dude. The next ollie is so freaking big.
My dad was pissed.
Yeah, watch this one.
Oh, that's
Whoa.
hold on, yeah.
And that was a dude.
Look at
Man,
somebody's
dude,
inside
you-
of it.
Oh yeah, is that McDougal?
It might be McDougal.
But like even the idea that these 1 inch pipes are going to hold you to the point where you're not just going to smash
Those
through
are
the
2 inch
windshield of
pipes.
2 inch pipes. But you could have really fucked the car up. Like if those pipes didn't hold right there, you're like
I mean,
now like
the fucking car could have fell in the water. It was chalked.
it's true.
It's chalked up
Nothing
with
is
2x4s.
Nothing's guaranteed at that on that hit right there.
Are you the only one that hits this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We ain't letting McGuckin or
I
anybody
love
else
that
hit
McDougal's in the car watching.
My dad was not stoked.
No, I can imagine.
You remember, hey Scotty, you remember when you and I were in
Oh,
the,
it
in the- in the-
fell. It fell off the thing, and McDougal caught it
really?
and put it back on.
McDougal was so big.
Yeah.
He was
Handy.
a massive.
Not as
John,
big as this
John
truck.
McDougal.
I like
Shout
that. I like that. There's
Dude, look how you
pipes coming
compress.
down the backside.
I've been
too,
to Lake
like, as
Powell
if
with
you're
John
going-
McDougal too.
Oh yeah.
He was out there
during all
during
that.
all that stuff. Yeah.
There he is. Look how big he is. Much
Yeah.
bigger he is than. And Brandon Meek's big, and he's even bigger. And
Yeah, that dude's huge.
shout out Brandon Meek. Dude,
All
what
right.
a rail.
B1.
Yeah, yeah.
But like even the backside of it, there's pipes that go down into the water, like as if you're just going to go.
Oh,
up
like
and
I was
down
gonna make it.
Yeah.
I love it.
But look, you do. You
Ooh.
you fucking make it, dude. Like,
Don't do that.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah,
There it is. Oh, dude, mine's already open.
dude.
Hit him with it, boys.
All right.
And we're back. Little halftime. Super safe.
Safety meeting.
No one's dangerous. It can get dangerous in the studio. We've had shit fall off.
Where
the
did you
wall.
first learn the safety meeting?
The safety meeting. The safety meeting. I do remember Peter B mentioning the safety meeting later on, but it was when I first wondered. I was with Monaco and Parks, and we were out on. I think it was was it Lake Catherine?
Yeah. We were skiing.
Catherine.
We were skiing at the Diamond Ski Club, and Scott's house was like
Yeah.
just down the way.
So what it was is me and Parks were young,
And I was 13. Shane was probably 10 or 11.
yeah, and we saw your boat come out, and we were about to go out.
Was
in the
I already
boat.
done with the diamond?
You were probably
So
done with
yeah,
Diamond.
you were. Yeah,
I think
you
this
already-
actually would have been maybe like 95,
This is
96,
This is 90
95-ish.
I moved on.
Yeah, 95.
But anyways, so I saw your boat pull out. Monaco said, "Oh, there goes Byerly and the crew. You know, probably McGuckin, Klein, all of you guys going out in the boat." And y'all, he went, "Yeah, and he goes, "We've got to like not go out in the boat yet. We're just let them ride first." But then you went out in the boat and just parked in the weeds.
In the cattails.
And you just went into those cattails. And Parks and Monaco were like talking for a while. They were talking about what tricks they wanted to learn. And I just watched your boat the whole time, and you were just stuck in the weeds.
I remember, and me and Monaco, I saw them go over and I was just old enough.
My
kinda
rope
to
must have
kinda
been knotted up.
I
or
was
something.
just old. No, I was just old enough to know what y'all were doing. And Monaco obviously
Monaco
knew.
knew.
And then right about then, Shane turns around and goes, "Hey, Anthony, why are they over there parked in the weeds?" And then I'm sitting
I
there.
don't
I'm
think
like,
that's what I sounded like, but maybe I did.
no,
I think I
that's
probably
not like
did.
a little
It's-
redneck
it's-
Shane. That's like you sound.
You
like,
sounded like
hey,
that.
hey, Anthony, why
But-
are they over there part of the tree? And then Anthony looks at me and he looks back at you, Shane, and he goes, "They looking for Gator, Shane.
looking for
They're looking for
Gator.
You
Gators."
probably had a shirt that said gas, grass, or ass. No one rides for free.
I love that you remember that I wore that, and I remember wearing that shirt before I knew what it even meant.
I
Yeah.
bought that shirt. You stole it from me.
I did probably steal.
I
from you
remember
because
him wearing that when he was a.
It was. I think it
talking
was
like that.
I think it was a Rusty shirt that said "gas, grass, or ass. Nobody rides for free," and that was like a 12-year-old kid wearing this shirt boldly with no clue
Surf
what
Expo.
it meant at all. But yeah, no, I do remember that.
It was
and,
at a wakeboard event.
and I do. Yeah, I just loved going because I was watching you guys like a hawk. I was like, man, that's Byerly and the crew over there. I'm watching.
My
What are
rope
they
was-
doing? What
my
are they
rope
doing?
was in a
What are they
knot.
doing? What are they doing? And then you guys were talking, and then I asked. I was like, "What are they doing over there in the weeds? I thought we were waiting for them to ride." And they're like, no, they're just like safety meeting, or they're just getting ready to ride."
he goes, they're
looking
Monaco
for
literally told you, he goes, they're looking for Gators. Because you're like parked deep into the weeds. And you
Yeah.
bought it. Just you
I
were
did buy- I
just
totally
like
bought it.
10 or 11 years old. You were
We
like,
used to park there and go get gas.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Who would have been in that boat at that time?
RB.
Like, yeah, who was the crew? Who was the
RB.
Ryan Byerly, your brother,
Brandon Meek,
Brandon Meek,
Drew McGuckin,
Drew,
probably Greg
Greg,
Nicrason,
Sarah.
probably Sarah Klein.
Who was all in the high school crew? Who all did you go to high school? Like CC? Was CC there?
I went with CC went to a different high school. I went to middle school with CC. Drew McGuckin,
Yep.
Sarah Klein, Brandon Meek.
Sounds like a good shitty
Dude,
high
could
school
you
crew. right
imagine
there.
going to the high school with all of them? That would have been so sick. And McGuckin with his long hair, just like down to his belly button.
He had long hair.
Man, McGuckin with long hair was like the coolest McGuckin ever.
He had long hair.
Yeah, he did have long hair. Oh man, that whole like, who were you closest with? I know they were all your friends and you went to high school, but who was your boy in the crew? Like, who was your closest? Is it Meek? Maybe Nicrason? I mean, you're not
Probably-
throwing anybody under
Probably
the
my
bus.
brother.
Your brother. But like,
RB.
who
He
was
was
the
the- he was
one
the
that
guy.
like
He
came
was-
over and hung out the
Ryan
most?
always went first.
Yeah.
Try this out.
Ryan
Try
was,
this out.
Ryan was a little. Who's crazier? Who's wilder out of you and your brother? You think?
Oh, he's definitely on another level.
Yeah. Ryan, I remember the cover of Wakeboard magazine where Ryan rode the skateboard with his wakeboard on top, and he came off the kicker and then hit
Oh,
the
yeah.
wakeboard rail.
Yeah.
That was at CC's house.
Shout out Ryan Byerly.
Ryan.
That was at CC's.
What's Ryan up to
Yeah.
these days?
He's working with my stepbrother and doing sandblasting stuff,
Nice.
raising his daughter.
Good.
Yeah, we got we have a Patreon question from Sean Moore, and I probably should have asked this or brought it up when we were talking about the Mayday Lake Powell stuff, but I got it queued up. We got a video, or not a video, just an audio from Sean Moore, but little question for you, Scotty.
What up, boys? It's Sean Moore. Hey, Parks, Shane, congrats on the pod. Super excited for you guys. Really enjoying it so far. I've got a question for our good buddy, Scott. I heard a rumor back in the day that when you guys were out at Powell filming with Artie and Jerry for Mayday, the amazing FLF film Mayday, that you hadn't gotten a 7 on tape yet. And I guess Murray had gone out to the Hillside 7. You had all your stuff packed up, basically getting ready to head back to Orlando. And the rumor is, and I don't remember where I heard this rumor, but the rumor is that you saw Murray land that 7 and you basically said, F it, pulled your board out of your bag, took one more set and stomped that amazing Toeside 7. That basically is the mic drop into that video. It's like Toeside 7, stomped, the end. I want to know if that is a true rumor, if that really happened. Thanks so much, you guys.
All right, shout out Sean Moore, and thank you all the Patreon members out there putting some questions out there for us. Scotty, you remember what he's talking about on that?
I know it trip and video, but I don't remember me packing my shit up.
But you did go out and
We
stomp a
were
hill 7.
we were all in the same boat.
Yeah, but do you think you stomped a 7 after Murray made a 7?
No,
No,
Murray
we-
made it.
I don't remember.
Murray made a hill 7, and then
We
I guess
both
what he
we
was-
both made it on the same
play
trip.
the toe
I
7.
don't have.
I don't remember who did
We'll
it
show,
first.
I'll show it while we was talking about it.
I don't remember who did it first.
No, I mean, yeah. All right,
I did
well, there you go.
I did a toe side one, right?
Yeah, you did a toe side one, shut down the video,
Off the double.
and
up.
Murray did a heel side one in that
Right,
one.
right.
So I think what he's saying is like maybe it was towards the end of the trip. Murray was taking.
Yeah,
the last
I
set.
don't.
Y'all were like
I
packing
don't
up.
remember.
There you go. One big beautiful blur right
Sorry.
there. More.
That was a fun trip though.
That was a fun trip. What's your favorite, most favorite memory at Powell, you think?
McDougal was on that trip. I remember he wanted
McDougal's-
to beat up Chase Hevner.
McDougal did. I
Yeah.
can't think of a worse.
I
dude
think
that
a
would have
firework
beat
or
me up.
something.
There you go. I think this is it.
Yeah, thanks, Shane. There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, maybe Murray did it first. I don't know.
Murray did a heel 7, and then he was. I think he did it. What he's saying that he probably could have done it like as y'all were like getting towards the end of the trip, and then maybe you're like, all right, I'm gonna take one more set and then go fucking stick that thing.
Sounds good.
Buzzer beater.
Sounds good. I love how nonchalant Scott is about anything and everything that's ever happened. He's like, yeah, it's just like, it's whatever. It's all good.
I mean, it was so long ago.
I know,
seriously
it's
do not
hard.
remember.
It's-
I mean, it's so hard. But once we start talking about it, I can remember.
Yeah.
Right. That's
No,
why I
yeah,
was trying to like
honestly.
show that. Yeah, get a little video to kind of. I'm
I
the
don't
same.
know. I don't know.
Dude, I'm the same. I look at some of these contest runs that like Ryan posts, and I was like, I don't remember this at all. And then all of a sudden, there's like I see one trick or halfway through the pass, and I go, and it like clicks, and I was like, oh, I remember this the whole thing. It's like it's crazy how your brain works. It just like you have to sometimes. That's what I loved about the banter. Sometimes we get a story that like goes into the next one. Sometimes you can't get to a story until you tell like 2 stories before,
Yeah.
and it gives you the access
Yeah.
key to even like get into
Snowballs.
this next one.
Snowballs to the next one. But it is good. Like, I mean, I even loved like 12 honkies. Like you
That was fun.
12 honkies was such a cool one to be in.
Yeah,
like,
Ron did a great job with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
12 honkies and like 6-pack that
Shout out
you did.
Ron, dude. Yeah, man. The 12 honky was sick.
When's the last
Simple
time
Man.
when's the
Simple
last
Man.
time you seen Ron?
Simple Man was such.
Been a
It
while.
was probably one of his best
He picked me
songs.
up from the airport a year ago
Really?
when I went there to the boat show.
No,
Idaho Boat Show?
Yeah.
There you go.
It
From
was,
Montana
it was
Boats.
great seeing him. Yeah, from Montara.
Yeah.
nice. That thing with Montero is going good. I like the Montero boat. I think that's it.
Yeah, it's a really
Yeah.
all around boat. Like
yeah.
it blew me away the first time I went in it. You
Yeah.
know, just
I
seeing the wake and
Right.
everything and like how it
Right.
handled and
yeah, it's a
Pretty
cool
comfortable.
it's a cool boat. It's a
business
opposed
in the
to
back.
a $300,000
Business in
boat.
the back, party in the front,
Yeah.
on the top.
No, it's good.
Scott, how did you came up with so many like of the most progressive tricks at that time when like the only tricks that were like the mobs 360 flips that were being done at the time was like a heel mob, like a switch mob and an air mob. They were all the same, and you were the first one who like cracked the code and came up with the Pete Rose, the front mob, like the Tantrum to blind, and really you look at the rotations of those tricks, it's like especially the front mob, it's just like. And what'd you name the front mob?
Slim.
No.
Fat Chance.
Fat chance.
There was a guy named Chance that worked at in Salt Lake. What's the shop there?
Marine Products.
Marine Products.
And
So
This
it was
guy
named after
Chance,
him?
and he's
and
like,
you named it
"Hey,
after
name a trick after me."
I
Fat Chance.
I didn't know the root behind
His
that.
name was Fat Chance.
His
Damn,
name was
that's
Fat
fucking
Chance.
sick. And
Anyways, I was jumping on the trampoline a lot.
yeah,
Like, just learning a bunch of flips and spins.
and you were just
Taking
getting
it to
kind
the
of weird
water.
with it and just taking it to the water, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Scott, you came up with such. I love the backstory on Fat Chance of the
I
Dave
know.
of Utah and Marine Products. What about the Pete Rose? What's the root of that?
With the name?
Yeah.
I think I was like falling off the front, like sliding.
So
like Pete
like Pete Rose. So
he
to
used
give
to
reference
slide.
to, if you're listening, Pete Rose was a famous baseball player, arguably one of the greatest of all times. I say over Babe Ruth. Fuck you, Shane.
But why- I don't know why I
But he
was-
invented the face first slide. So you're saying that you named it.
But I
after
don't know
Pete Rose.
why I was
No, because
sliding
you
out
could,
like
you
that.
could come around and like encase the wake and
Like when I
roll
was
out the
learning
front.
it, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
I think if you case the wake, you go out the front and you would
Yeah.
initially just like
Come up short. Yeah.
dive
That's
in
where
like
came
that.
From.
That's
But what
pretty
made you what like? I mean, obviously
a
it's
twin
easy
tip.
to just kind of go, well, I was doing roll to reverts, so I wanted to add a
I mean, that's
180.
kinda
But
how
like
it
what it
was.
was, like,
Kinda
I
how it
mean,
was.
but the Pete is like such a hard,
There wasn't
it's
any.
such a hard-
There wasn't tricks.
yeah. You needed more to like.
There wasn't tricks. So
What?
we would just learn them.
Yeah, keep
Let's
going.
try this.
Jump on
Do
the
it.
trampoline, go out there and just let her rip, huh?
Dude,
Yeah.
it's. I mean, honestly, all of those tricks are still being done, and they're trying to do variations on
It's
them
cool
now.
to see people like still do like a Pete Rose in there.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the Pete's in the front modes
And like
now.
Pete 5, like when I did a Pete 5 off the double up back in the day,
Yeah.
that was good.
That, I,
Dude,
mean,
I
that-
the
did
fact
that. I
you were
did that at an event like over in Europe somewhere.
Damn, a Pete 5 for the first time. In
Yeah,
an
off a
event.
double up, and I
fucking
won
sick.
like some best trick.
Damn
thing.
right you
I don't
did.
remember what it was, but it was over.
Dude, that's so sick. Because there's still,
don't
I
even
mean, a
remember what
Pete
it
5
was.
in a contest now, people are still just like,
It was in
damn,
it was
he just
in
dropped a Pete 5.
Sweden.
Sweden, 1997. I remember that.
It was a long time ago, and
Maybe-
I landed a Pete 5.
Damn, that 97. That's so crazy.
Maybe
That's
99.
literally-
Maybe 99. No, it was 97.
I have the trophy at my
No,
house.
nice. Yeah.
Whether it's 97 or 99,
Damn.
it's still almost
That
20
was
years
after-
ago.
That was after we all were in Amsterdam and
Mhm.
all that shit.
That was when I.
That was a
went-
crazy trip.
That was the year I won the. I won
Remember
the,
Francois? He was
Yeah,
with us.
fuck yeah, we remember Francois.
Francois is one of the craziest people we've ever been encountered
He was there with us on that trip.
with. Yeah.
Dude, I remember I won the German contest, and like the promoter or whoever this dude, he was super shady. He like, I like won, and he like didn't pay anyone from that trip. Like I got like stipped like $9,000 or something. He like
was a wild trip.
he declared bankruptcy and shit.
That I don't want to say that happened a lot, but there's
did happen
definitely
back in the day.
moments, yeah, that you would do things and you would win events, and they'd be like, "Yeah, no, I know we told you though there was a $10,000 prize, but we actually have $2,000," and you're like, "For all of us, like $2,000," and you're like, "Yeah, everybody's getting $300." You're like, "What is that? That's not a thing." You can't just give
Right.
people $300 when you said you were giving them $8,000 or
Wow.
whatever. Like, yeah.
Scott, what does it feel like today? Like what, like out when you invented like the front mob and the Pete Rose and all this stuff, like to see all the like the young kids, like the level of progression, and like you were a big inspiration to me. Like you're like after I watched like Hit It and High Wake Drifters, I was like, I just landed the chromo, but after that, I was like, I want to land every trick that hasn't been fucking done yet. You really like open the skies and like just like made me see like the other side of like just being like, and instead of just winning contests, like you made me value like inventing tricks. Like I saw like how sick the Pete Rose and the Fat Chance was, and I was just like, man, I want to like devote a lot of my time and effort into like inventing the shit that hasn't been done yet. And like,
Yeah, it's just
isn't it crazy?
progression,
Isn't it
you
crazy
know?
to see like
evolution
the kids?
of.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wild. to
It's
see what
wild, huh?
everybody's
To
doing.
watch like Sam Brown and Ty, and like you see like
Yeah.
and just like how easy like Nick Rapid does like
Mossy.
double tan, Mossy. It's just like, I mean, Mossy, yeah, like isn't it cool to see the way, Shane, you can like a testament to this because they've taken your Tootsie Roll and they've taken your front mob, and you know, like it's crazy.
Yeah, they're doing
how
they're
much
doing
the
exactly
variations
they're
and,
doing
like-
exactly what we were doing.
But
back
how
then.
long it
Like,
took to get there too.
Yeah.
Like
They-
it was
they
traditional
really-
for years, and now like the guys are like seeing, they're
they
like,
really care about how things look.
love it.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of it gives me goosebumps, kind of fucking
For
just
sure.
like thinking about, and I bet you feel the
they're
same.
keeping
with,
it alive.
100%.
sure.
It's in good hands. You probably feel the same way about wake skating too, because like,
Oh, man.
I mean, because
To
Scott,
see what-
as much as
to
you've done for wakeboarding, like you birthed fucking wake skating
To see
too,
what
dude. Like,
guys are doing on wake skates is fucking crazy.
I mean, you applied it's wild, huh?
Yeah. For the non like recognition that they get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
what I actually
it's
think.
so fucking hard.
I think the most impressive thing about wake skating is it's such a I don't want to say a core thing, but they're doing it and spending so much time and learning these crazy hard tricks with no end goal. Like there's not like
it's just because
like-
they love it.
like a
Yeah, that's
wakeboarder
a bit-
can
I mean,
do.
I think
I
It's
know,
'cause it's
but a
so-
wakeboarder can learn tricks in hopes to get sponsored and
It
go
really
on tour.
is so similar to skateboarding.
Oh, dude, it's so similar, and they do it like
And that's what I said earlier. Skateboarding and like
yeah,
wake skating stuff too. Like
yeah.
it's so similar to skateboarding.
It really is. And like it's just that like it's that type of personality that does both of those. Like the type of personality that wake skates and does it that aggressively and like loves that and just wants to do that isn't one that is wakeboarding and looking for sponsors to get on tour so they can make some, like they are like, no, I want to do this because I want to do a varial heel flip and I want to do you know what I mean? And they spend a long time doing it, and it's crazy.
Down a massive drop that you
Yeah.
can get kicked out of every time.
I mean,
you go.
isn't it crazy to think like how long? And I remember Bear telling me when he tells the story of just like switching from film to digital, he was like, dude, when I shot film, like I'm trying to shoot George Daniels doing a front board like 270 shove out, and it would take him like 20 tries to kind of like get it, and we would finally get it, and we would use a sequence for the mag. Isn't it crazy to like the way the consistency just like changed? Like you watch
God.
think about how many times
not taking
Thomas
them that long.
tried a kickflip, or like I remember watching Drew try the kickflip on the lip for like so long, and he would definitely make it, but it's just crazy to see.
it
Like
took
you
us-
watch
it
Nick
took us
Taylor,
forever.
all these guys like
They're just so consistent with it.
yeah, it's amazing to see. Just
I mean, it's just like with wakeboard stuff.
Yeah.
Once stuff's done, the next generation's watching that and
Yeah.
they're learning it at a young age.
sponging it up.
And
Yeah.
just
No, I mean the amount of times I've asked, like when I'm filming Daniel Grant, I'll just be like, "Hey, can you just like do like we were on this like big old hip, and I was like, can you do a kickflip over it?" And he was like, "Never done it before, first time, boom, stuck it." And I was like, "Can you give me another one?" And he's like, "I've never even made it, and I just made it first try. Boom, made it again." And I was just like, "This is
Whoa.
crazy that you can just kickflip off of just a weird hip like." Consistently,
I mean,
never tried
that and the shit he does on a wakeboard.
Oh, everything Daniel
He's-
the does is like
yeah,
it's,
he's the
it just drop
ultimate.
jawed.
He's
Yeah.
the ultimate.
He is the ultimate. I think he's
I think
the
he's
ultimate. And we were talking about this last
Except for,
podcast about
except for
like,
behind the boat stuff.
Yeah,
actually you would be impressed because
I'm sure he
when
does
we were
really
at Powell, when we were at Powell, he went out and rode, and we gave him just a random wakeboard. We were like, "Hey, you got to ride the trip because we need footage of somebody on the trip." Slim chance. First try.
Shut the fuck
No
up.
problem. No problem. Just cuts in, doesn't know how to hit a wake, can do slim. Boom. I got the footage. I'll pull you. It's impressive.
I
Like
believe
he
it.
can do things that you're just like, he doesn't know how to hit a wake, but yet he knows the board and the water so well, he can do anything. It's
Badass ninja.
he's honestly,
he's a
I would
ninja.
say he's the most talented waterman
I agree to
ever.
yeah.
Like he can handle a board on the water.
Waterman.
Like a board.
Or like maybe
boardsman.
fresh water,
Like a
waterman.
like a boardsman.
Fresh water.
Like a
Cable.
water boardsman. I don't know.
With an
water
electric
boardsman.
cable.
I don't know.
Kinda, yeah.
I don't know the word for
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
but
we'll
he
work
has
on that.
more water.
Waterman
board
is
technique.
Waterman's like
Yeah, that's
in the
salt water.
surf
Yeah, you're
and
the-
everything. Like I would put Noah Flegel.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Touche.
He,
Touche.
That's what I'm saying.
He
Fresh
could
water,
be.
like,
he
very-
could be like one of the
Okay.
best
Cable.
watermen.
Cable. When there's an electric
Well,
cable, motor cable.
We don't have to get worried about the.
No, no,
But
no.
yes,
the-
Daniel Grant.
Let's not go into fucking.
Daniel Grant is
He's
the best
he's been
at wakeboarding and wake skating.
Yeah, he spent the most time on
He
a
won
board.
Wake the Line, the wakeboard, and the wake skate in the same contest. With a busted head, I think that when he
Yeah, when he
was,
hit
like,
his
going
head on
crazy and
the-
he jumped
on
up.
the
It was like,
school.
there was a low ceiling
Yeah.
there, and he was like,
He was
He had the
telling me
headphones
about
on.
it
He
too.
was like, and he banged his head. He was riding with like a full bandage
Patch.
on, full
Yeah.
patch, and he won the wakeboard. I don't know if it was the same year. I think it was.
We
but,
brought it
like,
up a little
He
bit
won the
ago.
wakeboard, and
We brought it up at Powell, and he was like talking about it. He goes, "Yeah, they wanted to bring me to the hospital and give me stitches," and I said, "No, you put a bandage. I got
Give me
things
some
to-
candy,
I
I'm
got
all right."
I got some things to do right now." And he was like, "No, I am not doing that. I'm not going to get stitches.
give me a
'cause-
jalapeno Cheeto,
like-
and I'll be good.
Yeah, like let me go." And they just put a little bandage and like wrapped it around.
It
his
wasn't a
skull
little
like this.
bandage.
No, it wasn't. He hit his head hard.
It looked like he
bleeding.
was in war.
in like a 1950s war. Where
Do you
they
think he
just, like,
won because he was slightly concussed?
No.
Like he was just floating through that shit?
He didn't give a shit. He was already floating before he hit his head.
Oh yeah.
What do you think, P? Should we get into some rapids?
No.
No? Let's hit him with the rapid. Let's hit him with some rapid fires.
want to rapids?
Oh, you're not ready for the rapid
ain't
fire
ready, dude.
questions, Byerly. All right, so what we do is we got some rapid fire questions for you. I just want quick answers.
You're gonna need a beer.
Is that thing empty?
I'm just fucking with you.
That
Is
thing empty?
I
They're
think
easy.
Not yet.
They're easy. They're nothing much, but we're looking for quick answers. Nothing too in depth. They're all pretty self-explanatory,
Shoot.
and we'll go like
Scott ain't
this.
fucking scared. Bring it.
I know he ain't scared. I just wanted to intimidate him for a little bit. But all right,
Is there any wrong answers?
no wrong answers. There's never a wrong answer.
Yeah. You ask everyone what the number am I thinking of, and it's wrong every fucking time.
Well, that's a wrong answer.
So
but
what is it to? Like 1 to 100?
No, it's any number in the whole world. Yeah, but don't worry about that. Let's go with favorite graphic of all time.
of yours, of your pro
Oh,
models.
of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the dragonfly one
Dragonfly one was sick. I'll
Agreed.
with it's a dragonfly with Venus
Yeah, it's a pretty
flytraps
edgy graphic.
with like a
I
little
don't-
alien.
those Chris
There's like
Mack
a
graphics were
No,
always the
no,
best.
that's a Greg Morris.
I know, but Chris
Greg
Mack graphics were always like that.
Greg Morris.
So there was there's like an alien flying.
No, I remember
Venus
the
flytrap,
dragonfly. I remember
or
the
the
dragonfly.
dragonfly through the Venus flytrap.
I remember the dragonfly.
All
All
right,
right.
love it.
All right. Favorite contest you've ever been in?
favorite contest. The carnival,
Carnival is a good one.
That's a correct answer.
the first one.
Your favorite.
What year was that?
I don't know, but I won it.
Yeah, right. I love that.
Bow, bow,
dude.
bow. Give it to him.
go.
All right. Favorite wake skater.
Favorite wake skater.
Yeah.
Fuck.
There's a lot of good ones. You're not making anybody mad by saying anything.
Yeah,
It's
there's not
just
a
like
wrong
a-
answer.
I know. I'm not.
It's not a wrong answer.
I'm gonna say one of the Pastera boys.
Pastera
Probably
boys, yeah.
Andrew.
Andrew Pastera. That's a
enough.
good answer. That's a good answer. Favorite wakeboard vid.
Wakeboard vid. Like of all time.
Yeah.
All
videos?
time. Anything that you've been in? anything
Probably
that you-
Parks's documentary.
No,
Yeah?
no.
Yeah? You're
No,
not
for
just
real.
kissing ass right here?
No. For
Really?
real.
Getting glazed up. All right. Thank you.
No, like
Glazed up.
that was some. That's a fucking badass story.
It is a really cool story.
Thanks, guys.
And they did it really well. Like the way they made the
Yeah,
documentary
yeah.
was
Hey,
like
wait.
full on. Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Scotty.
No lie.
Yeah, no. Alliance and Red Bull and like Chase had a Keith Kipp, Josh McWilliams,
So probably one of the
Bill
most.
McCaffrey. Yeah, everyone. The Red Bull man. That was
It's probably one of the most produced or the best
sorry to
produced.
get all the shout outs, but there's a lot
Yeah,
of people that
no.
contributed to that. Sorry. Carry on.
All right, what's Gator up to?
He's raising the twins.
He's got twins,
Yeah.
twin Gators.
Twin Gators.
Like a boy and a girl, yeah.
Man.
He's got some property in Puerto Rico that he's working on.
All right.
It used to be his brother's, Kurt,
Sick.
bought it and he passed away. And Gator's like moving on with the project.
Gators always
Fair
got some
enough.
good stuff going on.
Yeah, I saw him at
He's doing good,
I
though.
saw him at Dishman's wedding
Wedding, yeah.
thing.
Oh man, I was
Not
so
the
bummed
not
to
the
miss that.
wedding, but it was like
I was
the party.
so bummed I had to miss that.
But we got to hang out. and
Evening with
It was,
the
it
stars.
was really good to
Shout
hang
out.
out with him. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite cover.
Cover.
Your favorite cover of
Of
all
you.
time.
You know which one I like is when
remember.
you know.
Oh, I know which one it
All right.
is. I think it's an Alliance. Maybe it's a cab Indy front flip that Kirk Bender took.
I think I know it. Yeah,
Alright,
I know which
I
one.
like
you're
I'm
talking
all
about.
tucked up.
Yeah.
I'm on a
yeah.
Wake Tech. I'm
Like-
on the OBT board.
I liked the one where you're just sitting on the back of the boat.
Not that
and
it's-
you're like, you
That one
remember
was
that
sick.
one
Yeah,
where you
that
saw
one
his
was sick.
tats and it was just
No,
like, yeah,
not-
no, I liked it. I thought
I
it was.
don't like
I
You
thought
know
it
which
was-
one I like is the.
I don't like that
You
one.
know which one I like is the Lake Powell when you put the big. This is before like GoPros and shit. This is him riding in a full suit
That
in
was
a
a good
canyon.
one.
at
That
Lake
one was
Powell.
really cool.
And it was like they probably
That was on the Flight 69.
They probably put but they put a real camera.
it
in
was
a huge,
so
that was on that.
heavy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
what was
imagine.
that?
That's probably why all you could do was carve,
Dude,
right?
I think I did a flip, a roll or something with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that
It
was
was hard- it
that
was
was a
hard.
full camera in a full water housing on the rope.
Bolted onto my front of my board.
Oh, on the front of the board. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, dude, and it's deep there. If you lose that thing, it's like gone. And this is a real camera.
I mean, I wasn't
Yeah.
losing. It was bolted to my board.
fair enough.
It wasn't going anywhere.
Who was your biggest influence?
My biggest.
I think we
influence.
touched on it earlier. It was
It can be outside of wakeboarding or
Fletcher.
anything.
Fletcher's.
Christian
I
Fletcher.
mean, that was like surf stuff.
Yeah, but but
but for your
influence.
yeah,
My biggest influence.
yeah, for your like the yeah. What did you absorb the most to the way you fucking do it, dude?
I don't know.
All right, well, we can pass. We can pass. I'll let you pass.
Biggest influence.
Wait,
Probably my dad.
All
Was
right.
the biggest influence on my life.
No, I mean, I didn't
Yeah,
mean
yeah,
on
no,
the-
Try to like
I mean,
be-
However you, want
know
to
what
take
I
the
mean?
question. That's all I had wrote
Yeah.
down. So your dad. I
I
like
wanted
that.
to be like him.
And
you
then
know?
I had written down who did you hang out with the most out of your crew, but you did say that already too. Catherine, Georgia, or Pickett? Which lake is your favorite?
damn, Catherine, Georgia. You've lived on all these lakes at some point in your life. You
I
stumped-
stumped
you
him. I
finally
got him. I got
so-
him. He didn't. He didn't.
He's Eric Rucking out right now, dude.
I know. I love
Lake
it.
Georgia was all wake skate stuff. I didn't
Okay.
wakeboard there.
That was a cool lake, though.
So,
Lots
okay.
of wake skate
So
stuff.
what-
there,
what's the
but,
answer?
Catherine
I
or
would have to
Pickett?
say Lake Catherine.
Catherine.
Yeah.
That's what I would have guessed for you.
Yeah, I
would've-
mean that's where it all
They were all different eras.
That's
and
where
kind
it
of
all
like
started. Lake Pickett was fucking crazy.
Yeah, I can imagine. Huh? What a time to be alive back in the Lake Pickett house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Lake Catherine, for sure.
all right.
That's where it all started.
All right. What number am I thinking of?
66.
Nope.
I thought Scott was going to get that one.
I thought he was going to get 420, and I was thinking of 420.
You would have gave it to him if he said 420?
I would have said
Fuck,
it.
dude. I
but-
was going to say
No,
420.
I usually think of a certain number, but with you, I switched it to 420 in hopes that you would going to guess it, but you didn't
Scott,
guess it. So,
you might have been the only one who had a chance
You
to
didn't
win
even go 69.
Damn, yeah, you kind of.
I
you
don't know.
picked the
I don't
third-
know
you picked
why.
the
I said
bronze of all your
66.
selections.
I don't know why.
It's
I
all
said
right. Favorite beer or drink?
Water.
Water. All right.
No, I'm not accepting that answer.
I mean,
I
I
drink
did.
water. I barely drink beer.
But what's your favorite beer if you had to drink one? Like, what do you prefer?
IPA.
I text you, I go, Scott, what kind of beer you want
I
to
usually
drink on the
drink
podcast? You said not Budweiser.
I usually drink IPAs.
I like IPAs too. That's
Not in
my
the
that's my
daytime.
choice. What do you go with? Like a Lagunitas, a little Stone, a little
I've been
Hopsecutioner?
drinking
Highlight,
Reef Donkey.
Reef Donkey,
Reef Donkey.
Reef Donkey, fucking bold. All right, I like it.
I've been drinking that in Anna Maria.
All right, I
That's
like
where
it.
I've been for 9 months.
I like that. I like that. Reef Donkey. Let
I'm
us
gonna try
know
that,
if you
yeah.
want to send us a
This
six-pack
episode
and
brought to you
check
by
the
Reef Donkey.
Reef Donkey.
I like 420 Sweetwater 420.
I like
Those are
Sweetwater
good.
Forge. Sweetwater's got a G13, and it's like a weed.
I
like
drink it.
It tastes like.
It's making him yawn just thinking about it, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't yawn.
All right, all right. Here we go. Bob Marley, Willie Nelson, Snoop Dogg. Who you picking for if you wanted to fucking smoke and hang with? Bob Marley, Willie Nelson, Snoop Dogg.
Damn.
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson. That's the correct answer.
That is the correct answer.
Yeah. Why does my veggie garden suck? It's so hard to grow veggies in Florida. Like I know you had a garden.
You mastered
going,
it at one point.
I did not master it. It was
Well-
my neighbor.
But what's wrong with my veggie garden?
I don't know.
All right, fair enough.
That's the right
a good-
answer.
Are you
That's the right
are you
answer.
watering it enough?
I water it a lot. I water it a
Shane's
lot.
a
Fertilizer.
Shane's a green thumb. He doesn't
Fertilizer.
neglect it. He doesn't.
I threw fertilizer into. I think it's just too hot here
Are
in
you
Florida to
overdoing
grow
it?
zucchinis and things like that. They just like get withered, just wither.
You need a
You need a shade
You need
over
a
it.
shade
You need a
thing.
little tarp over it. I get that.
or
I
like a
get that.
screen.
All right,
You can buy these screen things.
I know,
for 'em.
like a little, not burlap, but it's like
It's like a little screen.
All right, I get it.
I just
get it.
bought one and I use it and I put it over my boat.
Nice.
It worked perfect.
All right, last time you barefooted
With Jake.
with Jake.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told him put the camera away. It was just for him and I.
All right. Oh, a little soul
You
mission.
barefooted back on Feed and Fire back in the day.
For sure.
Didn't you step off a wake skate or do
Yeah.
a wake skate bomb out?
Uh-huh.
Cause he ain't skiing, baby.
No, barefooting is the shit.
Which
I love barefooting.
Let's go.
which tattoo is the most spur of the moment?
Spur of the moment.
Yeah, like which one was not planned? You just sort of just kicked in there and did
Probably
one.
that first one.
The tribal, because that was the first one that Scott had before all the badass
Or
ones. You had
maybe the one in Hong Kong.
The Hong Kong. I thought you were going to say. Is that the one?
No, you gotta.
That's
hear
the
this
one.
Yeah, you gotta hear this one, dude.
What?
We were. Well,
Hear it.
I mean,
You telling the full story?
no.
I asked. Well, I told Parks these questions earlier, and he was like hoping that you would say a certain
That was
answer.
spur of the moment, kind of.
That was
we were in
super-
Hong
yeah, but
Kong.
We were rolling with some bad, like Josie Ho. She was like like a famous movie actress. Like, and we rolled with the big dogs, and they had a badass tattoo artist. So like one night we went in.
They really wasn't that
Well,
badass.
we learned in retrospect, maybe. But like,
Yeah,
but
it
like
wasn't
Scott,
badass.
and this was the night that you got the outline of the octopus. I think.
No.
No,
It's the dragon one.
the dragon one. Oh yeah, the octopus one was sick. The dragon.
That's
one.
Greg Morris.
Yeah,
did
Greg
that.
Morrison. Yeah. Sorry, Greg Morrison for the fuck up on that one. Remember?
Yeah, we were in Hong Kong and I decided to get this tattoo from somebody I'm never gonna see again. And he really wasn't that good.
Well, it's
Blew
almost
out,
like-
but all the lines are blown out. Like
Yeah.
It was such a big tattoo.
we were pretty
that-
blown out.
the outlines were like so. The outlines were so like it took so long to where you would have had to go back and get the whole thing colored, and we never went back.
Greg Morris.
We never went
Greg
back to Hong Kong.
Greg Morris fixed it for
Saved
me.
that thing.
Yeah, well, tried to.
Josie,
But
Ho,
yeah, like we were hanging with some
Josie Ho,
big time people in Hong Kong.
Josie Ho was a boss too. Dude.
She is
Like,
a boss.
dude. She when I say she's a movie actress, like dude,
She's
we were
a
sitting there.
singer too.
I mean, she
Big
was like-
time singer.
dude. I asked her. I go, if I compare you to someone in the United States, like who's the actress that
Jackie
you're like
Chan.
compared to? No, Josie she's a female. She goes probably Julia Roberts. I go, what? I go, really?
But she
Dude,
bro, does all her stunts too, like Jackie Chan.
She brought out this bin.
She does.
She brought out this bin with like 60 like DVDs with her face on it, just like exactly like what probably I don't know if Julia Roberts has like that same kind of
Hey,
thing.
hey, listen. I was watching Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous at home, and it was top 5 heiress in the world.
Of all,
Josie Ho was number 2.
damn, really? Holy
I swear to
shit.
God.
I
After
had
we
no-
were
I
hanging
had
with
no
her.
idea who
After we
were.
were hanging with her. Shout out Josie Ho and Conroy Chan.
Just shout out.
Damn.
You gave her a little cha-ching there
Yeah, just a
too.
little-
I like
little
it because she's
cha-ching.
fucking baller.
Her
No.
dad started Macau, the gambling island. In
Damn.
there.
Yeah, that.
But
sound
remember,
like that time.
she
all
like
right, I still got.
she hooked us
questions.
up with freaking private yacht and all that stuff. Remember that we stayed with?
That we were filming for Retrospect, I think.
We were filming.
That was when I landed
with
the
Ron.
That's when I landed the boner pop.
Boner Pop in Hong Kong.
Boner pop.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
He landed
A lot of
in
shit went
Hong
down on this
Kong.
trip.
The wake skate to your feet.
I tried this trick.
Boner pop.
Yeah. If you're asking what the boner pop is, it's a wake skate trick that I invented called the boner pop. And it's you got to start on your belly. You have to do it behind the boat. Or actually, you don't have to do it behind the boat. Daniel Grant's really evolved the trick.
It's behind the boat, wake to wake.
Yeah, the original
jump.
was, but it can evolve. Like, I'm not putting a ceiling on it. The original one was off the wake, belly to feet, double wake jump. And you got to pretty much throw it down to your feet.
Damn. I thought Francois invented that one. No.
He's just
Francois
a boner.
I'll give it.
Shane, you really want to ask the next?
No. We can keep going on the boner pop.
Go.
Let's
And
go.
Susie
Let's
Q.
go. No, we're done. Enough boner popping.
Sorry. Favorite trip you were on?
That one.
That one. Can we go back into that now?
See?
Who was the worst to travel with?
The worst.
I remember
And
I
who
blew up
snored?
Like
Who-
the worst, like
You just
conditions.
no.
Like
Who was
somebody
just like,
floating biscuits in the
It was
airplane.
annoying to travel with. Like, who's
Floating-
Even though there
Floating
could be your
biscuits?
friends. Yeah,
Floating
floating
biscuits.
biscuits.
Parks used to float biscuits. On
No,
the
I had
plane.
one bad Brazilian trip experience where I farted and it like killed the whole plane. Like
That
it
was
like
in
one
a
of those-
Brazil trip when that guy called me. What did he call me? I wanted to fight him.
Prego.
I wanted to fight this guy.
We were wakeboarding the whole time. Scott was wake skating and like it was hard to make wake skate tricks. And the dude was not. He never saw wake skating, so he was like super pissed that Scott was falling all the time.
He was
didn't get it.
he was the hyperlane
And so-
distributor over there, and
Yeah,
I
he
was
called
like,
him like prego, which I don't know.
I was like,
yeah.
"Fuck you."
yeah. So there was, it was entertaining. So,
That's pretty good. Well, that was actually the end of it. Who's the worst to travel with? So
Parks,
I would say Parks.
floating biscuits.
it was the
Parks
coconut
fun,
water.
Oh yeah.
Okay, see, all makes
Remember
sense.
when we rode in that little lake, but you could see the Jesus thing in Brazil?
Yeah. Remember that dude? The dude.
That's
had
where
the
he got
penthouse suite.
That's where he got the coconut water.
Remember the dude had the penthouse suite where we were sitting up there, and we were like, you could see the whole Jesus. Dude, I mean, if you're wakeboarding in Brazil, you're kind of like probably pretty baller.
Yeah.
So they had the whole top, like two or three floors, elevator up there, and we were up there. Remember Scott? That was when this dude rolled this like little pinner ass joint, and he gives it to Scott. And the dude goes,
It's like a
he goes,
dream.
you hit this one time, it blow your mind like a dream. Scott goes, we smoke joints this big. All day long back home.
That's good.
Remember we smoked that joint out of the onion wrap?
Oh my god! And what was the name of that? It was in Mexico.
Almost.
Conguamos. Yeah, Conguamos. Dude, this dude.
Out of an onion. Out of an
You know
onion
the-
skin.
you know
Onion
the
skin.
thin layer of an onion.
I've heard of this.
He peeled this and like baked it in the sun, cut it, and like, dude, it was
Respect.
It blew my mind, dude.
Respect.
You named him Deer.
That was a fun trip.
That was a wild trip. You can't. Isn't it crazy? You probably can't do that trip nowadays. Like you can't just drive down mainland Mexico towing 2 jet skis. Probably doing that. Like we got to appreciate that era of what we did and how we barely survived that shit too. Remember the jet ski? Like I was trying to save it out of the
flipped.
windsurf, and it flipped and like landed fucking back on me.
Yeah.
Damn. See, this is the stories I'm talking about. Like you can't access until you tell a couple more.
Who made
stories.
that?
Damn.
Keith Kip. Shout out
Keith
Keith
Kip.
Kip.
Yeah,
dude.
Kip. Love some Kip.
Damn, dude. Conguamos. That was a fun. What was that the military one too? No.
Need another beer there, Scott?
I just opened this one.
Oh, good.
Remember the people putting sugar in the gas tank?
Dude, they were so mad at us. We were doing tows and there were surfers there, but they were from France and we're in Mexico and they were trying to act like they like owned the break. And so we were like down. We weren't even like fucking with them, but they were like super mad at us.
This was before people were doing towing stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't super
on
calm.
surfboards. Though.
You're right. This is probably 2003 or 4.
This
I think
was
maybe.
before all that stuff.
I mean, Laird and them were doing it out there and stuff, but it
I
wasn't.
mean, it wasn't-
I'm saying
it
it wasn't a
wasn't-
common thing,
Right.
And so, dude, we went to bed at night, and these French surfers, they like came and like put salt in our tank,
Sugar.
sugar in our tank. And if you put gas and you run the engine with sugar, it just like chews the engine up. You're done. And then our mechanic, we had a really, I forget his name.
Remember
Had a
Ricky?
really smart-
Remember Ricky from was with us?
Yep, really smart mechanic, dude. And he went to put gas in the next morning and saw this like little sugar line, and he goes, "No way!" So he stopped, took off, like took it apart, took apart the little fuel thing, and like poured out all this like sugar. So we go out there, yeah, and then we started to flirt a little bit closer with him the next day. When we go, you can't
That's
stop
pretty
him.
wild. That's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good that the
If it was
homie-
Mexican, it was the locals like telling us to stop. We probably if they did that,
If you
we
were
would've understood.
surfing, you would be the same way. You'd be like, "Get the
I
fuck
agree.
out of here!"
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, but this is a French surfer in Mexico.
No, he's right. I mean, no one. If you're out there surfing, and
We're wakeboarding in the fucking
down.
surf.
killing it.
Killing it.
Get the fuck out of here!
All right, man. Well, let's do a little spin to win right now, and this is what we do every episode to where the top shelf Patreon members we give away a prize, and a prize it is this time. Scotty B brought in some relics right now. What do you got for us, Scotty? We got
This little handkerchief.
This is
it's a Byerly boards handkerchief that Scott.
Yeah, I think I made him for like all the reps and stuff.
Sick. So yeah, this is only for like you only got this if you were for a rep for Hyperlight back in the day.
Yeah.
Damn, that's fucking really.
yeah,
that's
that
really
is pretty sick. But yeah, so we got that. What else? What else do we got? We got another. We got.
Oh, we didn't get the toe jam shirts out of the truck on
Oh
the break.
shit, they're in my truck.
little too
well, we got
safe.
toe jam shirts.
There's a
that-
small and a medium.
Yeah, we're gonna Byerly's gonna sign those up for you. And
So let's run down what it is. So Byerly's giving away a toe jam T-shirt. This is a T-shirt from 20 years ago. Like,
one of them.
I mean,
don't
yeah, and this is
remember
one of them.
which
Scott literally had to get up in his attic today when I texted him, like, you got anything for the giveaway? Scott climbed up in his attic, found these toe jam shirts
And
that
that
are like
picture,
20 years old. These
and
are
that
relics.
picture of you guys.
You're not wearing this shit. You're putting this shit on the wall and along with this handkerchief right here. So,
yeah,
and,
like it.
and as well, we're going to... I went upstairs and I have a collection of DVDs. This is a Fall Line Films DVD from my personal collection. This is Hit It, Spray, and Mayday, all in the same DVD. And we're gonna have
Classics.
Scotty B sign this
Fall
thing.
Line Films.
Yeah, and I saw it. I was like, please,
Artie and Jerry.
please let the DVD be, because I have so many DVD cases.
Please be in there. Please be in there.
Give a
Boom,
shout out.
hey,
Give
the
a horn
DVD
to.
case is in there.
Give a horn to Fall Line.
Fall Line Films, Artie and Jerry Dugan.
But honestly, this is
this is
like
pretty sick.
this one's sick because it's arguably and actually not arguably the three best films almost ever made. Like Spray, Hit It, and Mayday. Anybody that
Greg Grayson.
wakeboarded from like
if you're an old
Look at that
wakeboard-
Greg
wakeboard
Morris
head.
art right there.
Yep,
on
Greg
Mayday.
Morris, and that's the houseboat on fire, burning.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that because of the storm that came through and like fucked up in Mayday? If you watch
That
it,
was a Mayday, yeah.
do you think was the video named Mayday before that?
I think
happened,
it
you
was because of that.
Damn. And what a good graphic cover art right there.
No, it is great. And
All right, sick. So
FLF made the best ones.
100%. All right, we're gonna spin this thing right now. I'm gonna screen record this so I don't
Yeah,
fuck that up. All right, so all the Patreon members, top shelf, you're up here. Not sure how many it is, but we're going to spin it for these wakeboard relics by Scott Byerly right here. And 3, 2, 1, we are spinning.
Hey, thank you guys all for being part of the Patreon and supporting, helping us do this thing.
100%. The
But
winner is, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Charnetsky. Chris Charnetsky. Damn, dude. Taking it down.
Chris is going
dude.
home with a good one. This
Yeah.
is honestly probably one of the ones that I would have won.
Well, this is
win
what I
the
want
most.
the things to be given away. Like
Yeah.
I this is like when I wanted to give away like these kind of like things for the Patreon members, I wanted to be like from the guests, and like this is like some really old school Byerly relics kind of stuff that's like one off. You are not getting this anywhere else, and really cool price. Scotty B, thank you for bringing this
for
by.
sure.
Really do
Honestly,
appreciate
this
it,
is
man.
this is a gem. These are gems right here. Yeah, thank you so much.
What's your favorite of those three?
Hit it,
Spray,
hit it, spray.
Mayday.
Probably Spray.
Spray.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, Spray was the one. Spray was the first one that we really.
I think
got
that was
into.
filmed this summer before the 94 Worlds. I think
I think we really got into
A lot of
Spray.
riding without a vest.
Yeah.
Not too smart.
Not too smart. Kids, wear your life jackets. We don't
definitely.
endorse it. We've all had some moments where we're not wearing life jackets, but like I said in episode with Uncle Paul, Shane and I lost our uncle, my dad's little brother, Tim Bonifay, drowned slalom skiing without a life jacket on.
Thinking
it's
about
not-
all the stuff that we
Corey
used to
Kraut,
do.
yeah, it's not worth it.
Not good.
It hasn't happened a lot, but it has happened, and it's not.
You did it, but you don't embrace it. You know?
Yeah. I would probably not do it.
Yeah.
If
No,
I
no.
could go
I wouldn't
back.
ride without a vest at all. I don't do anything without a vest on. If I'm going out.
No,
in the
but if
water-
I could, go
Go
back,
back.
Go back?
I
Yeah.
would wear a vest.
Yeah, I mean, because the vest doesn't hinder you that much. It's not like something that's like
It was just
crazy.
going against the.
You got to go
deal.
against the grain.
Was
at
it a
that
little
time.
bit of the rebellious young Scotty
I-
D kind of like?
I mean, it was
fuck
probably
the
that.
system kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Probably.
yeah.
Can't
Not-
argue
not
with
too
it.
smart.
Not too smart, but
Not too smart.
but it resonated well.
I mean, I wanted. I can honestly say I did want to ride without a vest because back in the day, your crew,
Betty
y'all
B
were
would
the-
light us the
She'd
fuck up
snatch
if we
you
didn't
up.
wear a
Yeah,
life
she would
jacket,
kill
dude.
me.
Betty
She
B
would
don't
kill me.
play.
Yeah,
it,
she'd
dude.
snatch you up.
Yeah, she'd.
I only rode with life jackets. You never see me
Hands
ride
full
with a
of
life jacket.
times.
Not on
Handful
Lake
of
Haynes.
times.
I would go up to Murray's, maybe like ride for 12 honkies.
Yeah,
like when
handful
we were
of times.
filming.
I
some
seen
stuff,
you
like-
with it on a
I know.
vest.
I'm not proud of it either, but like it's
Could have been
probably
riding one.
rebelling a
You
little
could have
bit
been
from-
riding one of my boards.
I remember riding.
Why
some
did
of
you
your-
ride those boards?
Because
Okay.
before I made my board with Hyperlight, I wanted to ride and Paul told me to kind of do this. I rode the Project, I rode the Premiere, I rode your board. And
I
wanted to-
remember seeing
and
a bunch
you-
of
keep it-
footage of you riding my board.
Well, yeah, and then honestly, I rode in 2001 season. I rode half the season the Premiere and half the season. The first season, first half of it, I think I rode the Premiere. Second half, I rode your board. I really liked your board. Like I took my Parks board and like pretty much knocked off almost your side cut and like your rocker pattern.
Like a 3-stage rocker.
Like 3-stage rocker. Like I really like your
Scott
board.
Bouchard
But I
shape.
keep in mind, I've only come off like Conley boards and like the FM or the free motion board, and they were all continuous rocker, just like old school Flight 69, almost like kind of like
Right.
low rocker, really skinny. So I wanted to like. The boats were getting a little bit bigger, the wakes were getting bigger, and I wanted to kind of like explore. I've never ridden a bunch of different boards, so I rode the Project, and Paul wanted me, before I shaped my board, he wanted me to ride all the boards in the line, and I think, yeah, you
got a bunch of clips
You know what
on
it was?
that board.
It was a navy blue spiderweb board.
Yeah.
That was the board
With
that
the
I rode.
witch burning on the bottom.
Yeah,
I even have a board. Yep, yeah,
I know
that
what
was
you're
it.
talking about.
Dude, you know what I like is BT. He showed me this the other day. He took one of his old wakeboard graphics and he
know what
turned
you're
it.
talking
He took AI and turned it into a real thing.
It was one of the Son's art.
Yeah, it was it was
Sun.
Yeah,
Sundong.
Yeah,
Sun
Sun.
Dong.
Yeah, it was his art. Oh, yeah. Shout out Sun, dude.
Yeah, son.
Yeah, he did my graphic. He did a bunch of Byerly's graphics, but man, yeah,
He took a girl that he had drawn on his board and was like, AI, make a realistic person of this art. And it was like this, cute
holy
chick.
shit. You know what we got to do? We got to get AI to reproduce Greg Morse's fucking all your old school graphics, like the ones with
That
like,
would be so
the
sick.
girl that like, she has like titties out and she's like chopping off
holding
like
the
with an
head.
axe, holding the head.
That would be so
yeah,
sick.
we need AI to like reproduce this. If you're
I
a
think the
listener,
Patreon
if you're
members
if
got-
you're a Patreon member and you have access to an AI account and you know what we're talking about, try to get Byerly's old
I had
school
some
board
crazy
graphics.
graphics.
Yeah,
Right,
you did.
dude. You had some wild ass graphics, dude. Greg Morrison was a
Greg Morris.
Would
Chris
you just,
Mack.
Would you just sit down with him and just go, I don't know, I want to fucking
Chris
girl
Mack
with
did the
holding with her head with an axe and fucking flames and her fucking titties.
Chris
out.
Mack did the graphic that you were riding
the spiderweb one.
with the witch burning on
Yeah.
the
Yeah. No, but yeah. I just love the idea of Byerly explaining a graphic and an artist just being like, okay, I'm going to take notes real quick. And Scott's like, yeah, I want some dragonflies and Venus flytraps and fucking axes and titties and some bitch fucking cutting a head
Greg
off.
Morrison's probably
You're
like, I already got one. I already got one. Kind of like
yeah,
it.
I already got that drawn up, actually. Nah, it's good.
It's going against the grain.
I just think it's funny.
I can imagine like the conniption that fucking Paul looked when he goes, we got to we just signed Byerly, who's pretty edgy.
Ebev used to tell me stories. all the
Yeah,
time.
I can imagine, dude. Like, put yourself in Paul's shoes and like Hyperlight. Like, you just signed Byerly, fucking pretty edgy. You got to come up with some. There's no ceiling on how gnarly the board graphics are going to be.
Oh, the first graphic was
you push the fucking limits. Right
my
now,
first
like
graphic
crazy.
was a guy getting decapitated.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
with hyperlight and blood on the bottom.
Hey, I do
Dude,
want
I can
That was
imagine
Chris.
Paul
That was
just-
Chris Mack graphic.
I do want to ask,
Paul's
like, how
gone.
did that unfold where you switched to Hyperlight? Because that was, I think, one of the bigger switches I've ever seen from an athlete to go from
Well,
Wake Tech to.
I was gonna go to Liquid Force
Damn, that was close.
because
Damn.
well,
it.
yeah, because
Damn
Jimmy and Tony left.
We could have been at
Right,
Powell.
yeah, you
we
were-
could have been at Powell for years.
Yeah, I
bud.
was-
in a way, you were with Jimmy and Tony the whole time with Wake Tech, and they were
Yeah.
so it was close. Huh?
But what
I was
it
gonna I
whenever
was
it
gonna go with
switched?
them, and then
How
I
did
don't
that
know. I
unfold?
wasn't even thinking Hyperlight,
Yeah,
and started talking to Paul and
yeah.
worked out something.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah,
It's just,
but I was going to Liquid Force.
man.
Yeah, Paul tells me a story when y'all were
We
like,
let the
up
ball
on
drop, boys.
Y'all were like negotiating your deal or something, or talking about
Oh,
it.
we're
like, up on
we're
the
on Lake Pickett.
yeah, at Lake Pickett up on the half pipe. Like if
Yeah,
Paul can't really like skate,
There was a
like,
vert ramp in the front yard.
a full
that
size like
Tim Payne gave us.
damn.
It was the Surf Expo ramp, and
That's like a 12-foot ramp.
Tim Payne gave it to me, and we put it over at Gator.
Y'all had a 12-foot Tim Payne vert ramp at the Lake Pickett.
It was the Surf Expo vert ramp.
Yeah, that's a big.
But yeah, we were on top of that with Paul.
damn, and it's all history. for
Remember
me.
the vert ramp that used to travel around?
Yeah, the
At the-
NBN.
The NBN one. It was the
Billy-
way. It was
no
the
Billy
Wake
No.
Tech. Yeah,
was that the same one? So they got it after that.
No, that was a different
It
ramp.
was probably the same shape though.
That was a
same-
different ramp.
It was made by the same people, I think. I think that was a. Tim
But
Payne.
that we used to skate that ramp at all the
Yeah,
events.
yeah. You know what? I remember one time. I think it was in Portland or it was in somewhere, but I remember you coming in after having a bad run,
And throwing my board in the
throwing your
garbage can.
board in the garbage can, but then
Somebody bringing it back.
somebody pulling it out, and then you started ollieing over it and like sliding it and board sliding it, and you were like so mad. And I remember being, probably 14, just watching the whole thing and going,
I wasn't a
"This
very
dude
good.
is so fucking cool. I was crazy.
I wasn't a very good influence.
Apparently you were.
But-
You influenced
but-
the shit out of
Hey, but
all of
Scott,
us,
like
dude.
so much.
I mean, I used to get pissed.
so much.
I
was-
did get mad.
I
Like,
was
you
so
were-
much of it.
I was passionate.
Yeah, so much of what you
I worked
did,
hard.
even when you were passionate or whatever happened, I want you to know that I was a weird 14-year-old in the distance watching, going, fucking love this shit.
Wearing
like
Jinkos.
This dude, yeah, wearing Jinkos, probably on rollerblades, and Byerly was like, get the fuck
I
off them
remember
rollerblades, boy.
throwing my board in the garbage can
Yeah.
and somebody bringing it back and going, "You might need this."
You might need this. No, but I remember you like
I didn't
throwing
see it. I
up.
remember hearing people go, Byerly just chucked his board into the dumpster.
Yeah, he was so pissed. I remember watching it. I was just like, because I probably followed you from the water and all the way
Scott,
up.
is that why
Don't
until
do
you
that.
disappeared. Yeah.
Is that why you've always kind of like, and I've ridden with you a lot, when you're not like making your shit and you're frustrated, you fucking wear it on your sleeve harder than most people. Is that just,
I mean,
you always been like that? Very vocal with fucking
I
frustrated.
guess I don't know.
I can imagine you as a 2-year-old baby. You were a fucking shit show. Fuck. Oh, you probably weren't saying that, but
That was probably a handful.
That was probably a handful. No, but
I mean, I really wanted to do well at these things,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I could do this shit every day. And
So
then
it's
I- and
frustrating
then
when you
was
could do
just-
it in practice.
It was just a different environment and
What
at an event.
did contest? Because you were such a. I mean, you the greatest free rider ever. Like, did what was it about contest that like kind of like made? What was it that kind of like shook you up? Like looking back, maybe you didn't realize it at the time.
You just
but,
have
like,
to do.
years later.
You just have to do everything. Then like no matter what the conditions are.
Yeah. Do you think there's out external pressure, like kind of like, or like, what did it come from? Was it all like you wanted to do good?
I think I used to get pretty like nervous and
from like
I think I
sponsors and
remember
shit?
like
The
I
spo-
would
the
even like
sport's getting
throw
big.
up and stuff.
Yeah, really? Damn.
I'd get nervous.
Yeah.
Did you know when like especially those few years after 94 Worlds when like you were like on top and you were the cool like 90, 96, 97, 98. Did you know that you were that idolized or that you were this big of a
Had
like,
the impact that you're going to have, like kind of.
I mean, not really.
No?
I didn't.
Because
know.
I mean, it's crazy because I know everybody.
I mean, looking back now, I see it.
now you see it, but like at that time, you don't think that you saw it. You were just morally
moment.
wanting to prove yourself worthy or prove that you could ride with these guys, whether it be those whoever was. I
mean, I think I just wanted, I just wanted to like do stuff that they weren't doing.
Yeah,
and make it
Look different, feel different.
Although I came from water skiing, I didn't come from competitive water skiing, which I don't know. I just wanted to put a different style on it, I guess. You know, a different look, a different, just doing shit that no one's done. It was easy. It was easy because no one's did it ever.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, it'd be fucking hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
No,
right.
exactly. I think that a lot actually, like the idea.
I mean, maybe we, looking back, you know, it wasn't as cool as it is now, but it's what it was, you know, like
No, it was cooler
nothing.
Then. It was cooler then because you were the only one doing it. Now everybody's trying to do their own cool thing, but really at that time when you were doing it, everybody was doing the same thing and you were the only one trying to do something different.
Yeah.
So it was actually harder and cooler to do what you were doing and to take that initiative to be like, I don't want to do this the way we've all seen it. I want to do something so much better and different, and it can be so much cooler. Like you're giving everybody this inspiration because you're like, this is what we can strive for. Just watch me for a second. This is how cool it can be when really nobody else was trying to do that. And now
it was
I
just
think
all
everybody
new.
else
It was
tried to do that.
everything was
Nothing-
just new, and no one's did.
No,
the
Nothing
shit.
was guaranteed, but like it was such a, like what Scott was saying, it was such a small point in the sport to where it was like, it's almost like, I mean, water skiing in itself is like almost a small subculture, and this is wakeboarding, and people argued it with like kneeboard back when it first, like skiboarding was like, oh, is this kneeboarding? Like before it became wakeboarding, it was like,
Yeah.
it still was like this, and like you almost like solidified it as like a. And Darren as
It
well.
was
too.
weird,
You
too,
and
like-
Darren. I mean, I give Darren it's just as much to kind of like elevating,
for sure. Like
elevating
he
like
was
wakeboarding.
He
into
was
a
definitely
you-
Darren was definitely the other dude that you wanted to do something before he did.
right. I mean, coming into like, and you before you rode a wakeboard, or as you first started to ride a wakeboard, did you like see the clips of Darren, kind of like
I didn't
ripping
know.
and-
I didn't really know who Darren.
So
was.
you wakeboarded for the first few times and started to do some shit before you even saw Darren like ride.
Oh, for sure. I
on
mean, I
TV or
rode
anything?
Skirfers and stuff back in the day. Darren wasn't riding. He wasn't around during the Skirfers.
Right. But what I'm
I mean, maybe he rode a Skirfer. Fuck, I don't know.
yeah, he probably did.
He probably did. We know what I mean. But he would. He
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
He didn't become who he was on a Skirfer.
I just didn't know if you looked at like what Darren was and like kind of what water.
No,
skiing
I didn't
and,
know
like, kinda, like,
Darren.
and
I didn't know
like, kinda, like-
Darren until I started competing.
Did you look at any pro riders and think they're
No,
cool?
I mean, I looked up to Sammy Duvall
Shout out, baby.
shout out Sammy.
Yeah,
That dude does some bombs.
and fucking Lucky Low,
yeah,
baby.
lucky look.
suede socks.
How stoked were you whenever it was?
Dude, I got along with all those guys.
How stoked were you whenever
It was super-
CW low on the
It was
dock?
CW was badass.
CW was badass.
Yeah, he was the best.
He was scary.
And his wife Carol Low.
Carol Lowe.
Yeah, they're all scary.
Both still alive too.
Anyways,
Loved 'em.
you know, those skiers didn't get along with the wakeboarders.
There was a little turmoil in the beginning.
But like, I got along with all the skiers like the whole
Yeah.
time.
Scott, you can get along with everybody. Like I know your personality. I know what you've done. You're really.
I
good
respected
at
them.
Everybody.
Like
Yeah.
I respected them. I didn't, because that's where I learned all my stuff from. Was I skied.
Yeah, and it's almost like maybe the media and the magazine
It was just
played
a-
like a little bit
No, for
more.
sure.
They like what Scott was saying. The line wasn't that like it wasn't that like set.
He wasn't.
It was
that
like
big
it was
of a badass.
everyone like Scott. We all grew up waters. Like there was no,
No, yeah.
hatred. Like
Unless
kinda like
when you
between
go
the
to
two.
the Masters.
I mean, sometimes. I mean, no, but I mean, obviously we've ruffled some feathers every now and then. But like
no, you go to the Masters.
But, like,
for
we
the
have
first,
re-
'cause I was there.
like
I was at the
we have
Masters.
respect for
I
the
rode
water
at the
skiers.
Masters on a wakeboard the first time anybody ever did it.
yeah, I remember I saw a photo.
Everybody
hair.
fucking left.
You had long hair on the dock.
Everybody left the dock.
No one like stayed in the stands to watch you.
No.
It was a boycott. You think?
I don't know. They didn't, they were like, what the fuck?
That shit's awesome.
Maybe Lucky Low hung around.
Well,
Lucky Lou probably did. And CW.
Well, definitely C-Dub was there.
Yeah, he was probably throwing ropes. Dude was legit.
You
And
said he's
scary.
alive still?
yeah,
Damn.
I believe so.
How old is he?
He's got to be like
100?
97. Yeah, no, yeah. I would guess that.
For those that
we need-
don't know, CWLO was the dock hand for years on tour.
He's Lucky Low's
And
daddy.
he was
Dock hand-
Lucky
yeah.
Lowe's dad,
Dock
but he was
hand-
also very intimidating.
Yeah. Well,
As a young
he was a
kid?
dockhand. Yeah, and he did all the ropes and stuff. But we need Lucky Low on this podcast, dude. Mom was telling me,
For
Mom skis,
sure.
Mom skis with Lucky Low down there. She
You
still goes down
definitely
there. Like,
need him.
that'd be sick. Lucky Low, if you're hearing this, which I'm
Pretty sure you're
sure
not.
you're-
We can get a hold of him.
We can get him
No,
on.
yeah, we do.
can get him
We're
on.
driving down there. We're doing it ourselves.
man.
Man, any Scott, any good toe jam? Any good stories? We got some. I remember we started double or nothing, and toe jam actually started in 2004, the exact same year. I remember we had
Really?
that. We had that.
How many
remember
times
we did
have
that?
you done it?
I think we've done it 12 times over like 20 years. So we've
I
taken.
think we
we've
went.
taken
I
some
think we went like
hiatuses.
10 years consecutively.
I think maybe 11. Yeah, we're like
We
really
did.
consecutive. Damn.
I think we did.
We took a bunch of hiatuses through ours.
We didn't take any.
Keep shit going.
It's
dude.
hard.
It's hard. Yeah.
It's hard to do an event that many times.
Yeah. And Toe Jam was always. I loved it because it was such a core event for the core.
It was the
wake
wake skate
skaters.
contest that Scott came up with.
Yeah.
It was cool
just
to
skate.
have all the wakeboarders too come out and
Oh, we would
Support
always
it.
support it. That
Love
was
that
big party.
threaten
Yeah.
us with a good time.
It was a
dude.
good time.
Shit. I think the first time anybody did any winch stuff,
Yeah.
like on
Winch
a wake
event-
skate
winch event.
stuff,
Yeah.
was
Like Anaconda. Yeah.
at the
And
toe
like-
jam. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Toe Jam was always a good time. I really
The
loved
rewind winch
That was a.
down there in Miami. Tony.
What was the bad crash that happened? Like who didn't?
Matt,
Someone like-
Matt Manzari.
Matt Manzari. Oh yeah. Didn't he tumble out the front and like
He ran
into a rock?
He ran into the side. It was on my birthday, 420.
Oh,
He was like the first rider off the dock.
Of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think I was
Smashed his face.
I think I was
What?
talking
It
to
was
Reed
gnarly.
Hansen recently, and we were talking about it, and he was saying how he was on the dock and ran all the way down to where it was happening by the time, because most people on the dock couldn't see what was happening.
Oh, it was crazy.
And when it happened, it was like the audience or like the people on the side that said what was going on, because the boat might have heard, but everybody by the starting dock couldn't see what happened because it was around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, once we heard, everybody just like ran down, and it was just this heavy little situation.
That was gnarly.
Okay, Matt's a fucking.
He's
tough
a,
Matt's
cookie,
a,
too.
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
Matt's a beast.
yes, he is.
Yes, he is. Manzari. Love me some Manzari.
Well, shit, boys, man. We've
I
that
think
was a damn good episode.
I think
9 right
I'm
there.
running out of questions. Besides, will you sign my board again? Like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
right
Like,
over the
we
top.
got to sign this thing.
Yeah,
we
you got
got
a Sharpie.
I just am looking around the room asking. I just want maybe even sign the Wake Tech aggro. Like I just want him to sign everything before he leaves. So no.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. You guys are doing a really good job.
Thank you, Scott.
I've watched all the episodes. I think I text you all the time. Look after.
Yeah,
them.
man. You were one of the first to reach out after episodes. And you've got some great ideas for guests to come on. And if you're listening, if you got some recommendations, throw it on our Instagram, or if you're a Patreon member, throw it up there. If you've got some recommendations for future episodes. But yeah, man,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to talk about.
Scott,
We just scratched the surface.
Yeah,
so I'll come back.
It's
for sure.
it's actually I learned so much more than I thought. I literally thought I kind of like knew, like I was intrigued to like talk to him about this era. And I've been friends, like I said, I've been friends with Scott for the last like almost 20, 30 years. And it's like, I learned a lot tonight about wakeboarding and some of like the backstories on some of these.
It's so cool.
Trips and tricks, man.
I mean, I said it at the very beginning. I said it in the middle, and I'll say it again. It is such an honor to have you here. I've respected you for so long. We've been friends. I've gotten to hang out with you for a long time, but
Hey,
it's so cool.
The feeling's
It's so cool.
mutual, man. Like,
Man.
I respect the fuck out of you guys.
We'll
You
do.
guys came a long way.
We'll get you back on here soon. Maybe we'll get somebody else on here. We'll bring
Yeah, let's
bring
do-
Gator.
What
Get
about
Gator
Robbie
in
Hatcher?
there.
What
Maybe
about
a
Robbie
little-
Hatcher? Maybe
Let's
you
get the
him?
Vertigo
Robbie
boys
Hatcher.
out
Yeah,
here.
Vertigo
Vertigo.
boys.
Yeah.
Let's get
Talk some
Padge
bungee.
and
Talk some bungee.
Hatcher
Yep.
and
Flute.
So
Yes.
many people we can get
those,
on.
but
But thank you so
that'd be a
much.
sick one.
Yeah, like Shane said, Scott. I mean, for everyone watching and like on behalf of like wakeboarding and myself, like appreciate everything you've done for wakeboarding and wake skating, man. Your contributions are like will never be like forgotten, and like the stamp you made is like unforgettable. And thanks for being the kind person, authentic person that you are, and thanks for coming on the banter, dude.
Yeah,
This
bro.
fucking it was.
Thanks
it was
for
amazing,
having
man.
me.
Love you, dude.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thank you all, Patreon members. Like, subscribe, crack a beer, listen
Yeah,
to this.
appreciate
thing.
it.
We'll be coming soon.
Yeah. Thank you guys. We'll see you soon. Appreciate it. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, man.
It's gotta be episode 9 in the books.